Lux Radio Theater, a classic radio anthology series, was broadcast on the NBC Blue Network from 1934 to 1935, which was the National Broadcasting Company, later predecessor of American Broadcasting Company in 1943 to 1945, Columbia Broadcasting System 1935 to 1954, and NBC Radio 1954 to 1955. Initially, the series adapted Broadway plays during its first 2 seasons before it began adapting films. These hour-long radio programs were performed live before studio audiences. The series became the most popular dramatic anthology series on radio, broadcast for more than 20 years and continued on television as the Lux Video Theater through most of the 1950s. The primary sponsor of the show was Unilever through its Lux soap brand.
Lux presents Hollywood. Lever Brothers Company, the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, bring you the Lux Radio Theater, starring Edward G. Robinson, Claire Trevor, and Edmund O'Brien in Key Largo. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. William Keighley.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's recipe for your enjoyment is melodrama. That spine-tingling compound of mystery, murder, and romance, Key Largo. It brings back to this theater a famous star of melodrama on both stage and screen, Mr. Edward G. Robinson. And Key Largo gives Eddie the kind of part he made famous in the days of Little Caesar. Co-starring with him are Claire Trevor, who repeats the brilliant performance which won her an Academy Award in the picture, and Edmund O'Brien, an actor with a fine talent for action drama. Anderson was the author of the stage play, and Warner Brothers repeated the Broadway success with their screen version. You know, it takes just the right ingredients and the playwright's know-how to make a successful drama. And it takes just the right ingredients and scientific know-how to make a product like... But women everywhere recognize its quality, and like 9 out of 10 screen stars, choose Lux Toilet Soap as their own complexion care. It's curtain time, and here is Act 1 of Key Largo, starring Edward G. Robinson as Johnny Rocco, Claire Trevor as Gay, and Edmund O'Brien as Frank. At the southernmost point of the United States are the Florida Keys, a string of small islands connected by a concrete causeway. Largest of these remote islands is Key Largo. Key Largo has very few visitors this time of year. It's midsummer, and the old wooden hotel is drowsing in the heat. But there are guests in the hotel. A few men and a girl gathered at the little bar just off the lobby. And now, a newcomer walks in.
Okay, Jack, what do you want? I just got off the bus. Is the proprietor around, Mr. Temple?
He ain't here. The hotel's closed.
When'll he be back?
I don't know.
Oh, it's awful hot. How about a beer?
Bar's closed.
That's right, Jack. Everything's closed in the summertime.
Give him a drink. You heard me. Give him a drink.
Well, thank you.
Oh, please. Think nothing of it.
Wake up, Toots. The buzzer.
I hear it. Mr. Brown wants his drink.
Oh, his drink, he does. Oh, put plenty of ice, plenty of ice. Listen, I'll take it up to him.
When he wants you, he'll send for you.
I know he will. I know that. Well, turn on the radio. It's almost time for the races. You just wait and see that first race. This, Fancy Freak. That's the one. He'll just walk away with it.
Yeah, sure.
You know why? They've been holding him back his last 2. Today he wins. Hey, fella, what do you think? You play the ponies?
Me? No.
Why not?
Well, I haven't got the money.
Listen, I want to tell you. I play the long shots because, you see, well, betting on a favorite, what do you win? Now, for instance, take this Fancy Free. You know the odds? 20 to 1.
Real long shot.
Say, what's her name?
McLeod, Frank McLeod.
Oh, I'm Miss Dawn. Miss Gay Dawn.
Okay, Miss Dawn, he wants you upstairs.
Oh, he wants me. I better, excuse me, please.
Look, mister, if you're thinking of putting up here, the hotel's closed.
Well, I don't plan to stay here. I just want to see Mr. Temple.
Oh, why'd you say so? He's outside down at the dock.
Yeah, by the boathouse.
Thanks. I'll go see him then.
That's right, brother. I'm Mr. Temple.
My name's McLeod, Frank McLeod.
McLeod? Frank? Major McLeod? Nora, come here. When'd you get here?
A few minutes ago. I'm on my way to Key West.
Nora, look who's here. This is Major Frank McLeod. And this is Nora. This is George's wife.
Your husband and I were in the same outfit overseas.
As if she didn't know.
I wrote you a letter, Major, but it came back.
Well, I haven't been staying put very long.
Ever been down here before?
No, sir.
She cools off some come November. Right livable then for about 3 months. How long are you going to be with us?
Oh, for an hour or so till the next bus.
An hour? Why, you could spare us more time than that, surely.
Well,
overnight, at least. Sure you will. He can have George's room, Nora.
Yes, Dad, of course. Oh, it looks as if we have more company. Hi.
Local police, Major. They're looking for a couple of Indians.
Afternoon. Any sign of the Osceola brothers?
Sorry, Ben. No sign of them around here. I want you and Clyde to meet my son's commanding officer. This is Major McLeod.
Nice to know you, Major.
Major. If you don't mind, Mr. Temple, we'd like to have a look around.
Was I you, I'd save myself the trouble. They'll give themselves up by morning.
Well, Clyde and Mr. Temple says they ain't here. Sorry to bother you, Mr. Temple.
Such a fuss over a couple of harmless Indians.
Nora's right, Major. They just got a little snootful and started to take Florida back for the Seminoles. Well, I sent word for them to come here and give themselves up. Not that I'm supposed to know where they are, you understand. Well, let's get inside and cool off. You mind giving me a hand?
Be glad to. George told me how you were sort of crippled up.
Yeah, my legs. Tree fell on them 8 years ago. Hurricane. Been no good for anything ever since.
I'll go on and see about your room, Major.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Mr. Temple. I see the fellow found you okay.
Major McLeod here. He was my son's commanding officer overseas.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were in the Italian campaign together. My boy George was killed at Casino.
Yeah?
What's going on up there?
Nothing, Mr. Temple, nothing at all.
Nora, what is it?
It's Miss Dawn.
Case of one too many, Pop. Miss Dawn drinks too much.
You had no right to hit her.
If you people can't behave yourselves, you gotta leave.
Don't worry about it, Pop. She'll behave.
You got the room ready, Nora? Maybe the major'd like to wash up.
Yes, it's ready. This way, please. Up the stairs.
Thanks. Say, these other guests, how long have they been here?
3 days. That's their yacht you saw off the pier. Mr. Brown's yacht.
Which one is Mr. Brown?
Oh, he's in his room. Rich, I guess, from the way they all jump when he lifts a finger. He's a lady killer. Or he thinks he is. Anyway, they'll be leaving soon. Well, here's your room. Major, were you with George when he died?
Yes, I was.
Did he suffer a lot?
No. No, he never knew what hit him.
I was afraid he might.
Can I come in?
Yeah, sure. Come on in.
Come down to Dad's office when you're ready, Major.
So you're staying the night, huh? I'm Curly Hoff. I hope you're not sore. I mean the way we handle you downstairs.
No, I'm not sore about anything.
I guess you're wondering what we're doing here, huh?
I don't suppose it's any of my business.
We come down from Milwaukee, the four of us, deep sea fishing. More than a year we've been planning this trip. So what happens? The blonde shows up. If she isn't drunk and crying, then she's got a hangover and arguing. Now, I ask you, can you blame us for not being nice and polite?
No, I don't blame you.
You're going downstairs. Let's have a little drink.
Well, not right now, thanks.
Well, come on, Jack. Just to show there's no hard Hey, miss. Was you just talking on the telephone?
Yes, the Coast Guard called.
Oh. I thought maybe it was for one of us.
The storm signals are up. Hurricane's on its way.
You see what I mean, Mr. Hurricane? Yes.
Dad's in here, Major, in the office.
Sit down, Major. Sit down.
The war's over, Mr. Temple. I'm not a major anymore. Well, Guess you want to know about George. He was a good soldier, Mr. Temple. You can be proud of him.
I always was.
George was a born hero, I guess. It's a wonder he lasted till Casino. But when you believe like George believed, maybe dying isn't very important. Well, he talked a lot about both of you. You'd be surprised how much I know.
What's it like where George is buried?
Sort of pretty and peaceful. Crosses on a slope, and high up what's left of a church. You can see a river from where George is.
I'd like to pay a visit to that place.
Maybe someday we can, Dad.
Go to Italy and see where George is buried.
Dad, there's a storm warning. I'd better see to the boat.
Maybe Frank would like to go with you.
Yeah, sure.
Tell me something. What brought you down here?
Oh, I like the sea, and I thought I'd like to make my living at it.
Doing what?
Doesn't matter. Life on land's getting too complicated for my taste.
What'd you do before the war?
Circulation manager for a newspaper. Good job.
Didn't you go back to it?
Yeah, but I couldn't stick to it. I've done a lot of things since. Anything to make $1.
Well, this is our boat to Santana. Not much you can do when it starts to blow like this. Just hope for the best.
How's your ground tackle off stern?
Oh, plenty heavy.
I've got to double up in these bow lines.
Where'd you learn about boats?
Oh, my first sweetheart was a boat. Say, that yacht out there. That's his, huh, Mr. Brown?
I think he chartered it.
You'd better get away from the reefs.
Oh, there's a skipper aboard. He ought to know what to do.
Hello, Miss Nora.
What? Tom. Hello, and John. Well, come here. Frank, this is Tom and John Osceola.
Hello,
How do you do? We're bad Indians, huh, Miss Nora? Well, we give ourselves up to police.
I'm glad, Tom. Dad says it's the best thing.
We do whatever he says. He's a good friend.
Oh, did you come here alone?
Oh, no, miss. All Indians on Crawfish Island come. Best thing when hurricane blows.
It's all right, Miss Nora. The family stay on hotel porch, not make any bother.
Of course it's all right. Where are they all?
At Cove, miss. We go tell them.
Oh, I'll tell Dad. He'll telephone the police.
Yes, miss, very good.
They'd do anything at all for Dad. As far as they're concerned, he's the United States of America.
You're very happy here, aren't you?
Very.
Never lonely?
No, not anymore. Before George, my life hadn't made much sense. I never had much of a home and didn't like what I had. Well, George gave me roots. When he went overseas, I came down here to stay with his father, and the roots took hold. Now I'm like one of those men.
Well, I guess that answers my question. Oh, here it comes.
Come on before we get soaked.
Well, I just talked to the Osceola brothers. We're going to wait out there on the porch.
I thought you said the police had come back.
Cars down the road, all right, but no sign of Ben or Clyde. Wonder where they went.
Where'd those people go, Dad? Up in their room?
They're all in the bar. Well, this is going to be an experience for them. Real Florida hurricane.
I'll get it, Dad.
It's okay, miss. I'll take it.
But
I said I'll take it.
Hello? No, Mr. Temple's not here now.
Of course I'm here. Who is it?
Me? I'm a guest at the hotel. No, we haven't seen him.
Give me that phone.
You heard her. Give her the phone.
Take it easy, soldier. Put down that gun. What do you think you're doing here?
Shut up, all of you.
Okay, Sheriff. If Sawyer shows up, I'll have him call you right back.
That was Ben Wade.
Yeah, I guess it was. He's looking for his deputy.
Then Clyde Sawyer must have come here alone. That's his car down the road.
Is it?
Well, I'm calling Ben right back.
You're not phoning anybody, Pop.
Who are you? Pack of thieves? Put that gun away.
Come on, Toots. Let's take him upstairs and see Mr. Brown. Angel, keep your eyes open.
Curly's got him across the hall, boss. The old man, the girl, and the soldier.
Well, what happened? Who's on the phone?
The law, sheriff, looking for the deputy.
Well, that means it won't be long then. Oh, you think this rain will cool things off, but it don't. Gonna have a hurricane, huh?
Yeah, that's what they say.
I want to talk to you, Mr. Brown. Open that door and come out here.
Well, now, what's all this about? Oh, good evening, Mr. Temple. Who's the young man? My name's McLeod.
I want some answers, Mr. Brown. You want money? Is this a robbery?
Now, look, Pop. Let's be nice and sensible, huh? Now, forget the questions. What you don't know won't hurt you. I'm expecting a friend. He ought to get here in a couple of hours now, and then we'll get out of here. Now, try and put up with us that long, huh? Well, sister, what are we going to eat tonight? Pompano, maybe?
Am I to understand we're prisoners?
Well, put it this way, Pop. You're going to be my guest for a little while. You know, back in Chicago in the old days, we used to pay $8 or $10 for an order of Pompano. We used to fly it in. And the way they served it. Yes, sirree. All done up in a brown paper bag. Oh, got any champagne, miss?
No champagne, boss. I looked before.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Champagne and Pompano. They really go together.
Hey, boss, the cops starting to come around.
Sawyer! You've got Sawyer in there.
Yeah, that's right, Pop.
Mr. Temple, call Ben Wade. Tell him I need help.
I happened to run into him, Pop, about 10 minutes ago down on the beach.
Look at him. He's all beaten up. Why did you hurt that boy?
He's a cop, that's why.
And who are you? Answer me, who are you?
He's Johnny Rocco, Mr. Temple.
Yeah, that's right. Johnny Rocco.
Please, let me help Mr. Sawyer. He's badly hurt.
Okay, go on in. Curly, let her help him.
Rocco. I know that name.
Johnny Rocco, the gangster. The one and only Rocco.
But they threw you out of the country.
Yeah, that's right. After living in the USA for more than 30 years, they call me an undesirable alien. Me, Johnny Rocco. Like I was a dirty red or something.
Well, how can you be here?
Well, maybe I'm not, Pop. You know, this ain't real what's happening. You're having a dream.
Yeah, wake up, Pop. You're snoring.
You're right. You shouldn't have been deported. You should have been exterminated.
I'll show you.
Rocco. I apologize for Mr. Temple. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, who to?
Sir, Johnny Rocco was a king, an emperor. His rule extended over beer, slot machines, the numbers racket, and a dozen other forbidden enterprises. He's a master of the fix. Whom he couldn't corrupt, he terrified. Whom he couldn't terrify, he murdered.
You filth. You city filth.
Mr. Temple, please. Welcome back, Mr. Rocco. It was all a mistake. America's sorry for what it did to you.
Hey, on the level, boss. Were you that big?
Yeah, that's me, sure. I was all of those things and more. When Rocco talked, everybody shut up and listened. What Rocco said went. Nobody was as big as Rocco. I'll be back up there one of these days, and then you're really going to see something. Now, what's with you, wise guy? Well, give. You were in the war, huh?
Yeah.
Get any medals?
Couple.
Brave, huh?
No, not very.
Why'd you stick your neck out?
No good reason.
Frank, what are you saying?
I believed some words.
Words? What words?
Well, it went like this, Mr. Rocco. But we are not making all this sacrifice of human effort and human lives to return to the kind of world we had after the last World War. We're fighting to cleanse the world of ancient evils, ancient ills.
Well, what's all that about?
I remember those words.
That makes two of us.
We rid ourselves of your kind once and for all, Rocco. You ain't coming back.
Who's going to stop me, old man?
If I wasn't all crippled up,
You wouldn't be talking this way. Right, Pop?
Filth, you filth!
Yeah, that's it, Pop. Go on, get him. Go on, stick him.
Go on, keep swinging, Pop. Come in, hit me, will you? Oh, you're not quitting, are you?
My boy George never quit, and I ain't quitting. I ain't never...
Dad! I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Little wildcat, huh? I like that. Yeah. Got claws, huh? Want to scratch, huh?
Hey, boss, telephone. Miami wants you on the phone.
Okay. You stay here, sister. I'll be back for some more in a few minutes.
It's all right, Nora. He won't touch you. Not as long as I'm alive.
Ah, you're a real man, Pop.
Boss, there's a whole bunch of people out on the porch. Look like Indians.
What do they want?
They want in the hurricane.
Well, keep them out. Where's the blonde? How come she's missed all this?
I guess she's still in the room sleeping it off.
Yeah. Hand me the phone. Hello? Yeah, this is Mr. Brown. Oh, hello, Ziggy. How are you? yeah. Well, it's well hearing from you again. Well, how's every little thing? Who's at the door? What'd you say, Ziggy?
Maybe it's the law.
Well, show him in. Look, when you coming down here? What hurricane? Is that right?
Hey, it's the guy from the yacht board, the skipper.
Well, so what, Ziggy? You're only a couple of hours away. No. It's got to be tonight. Well, that's more like it. Yeah, see you in a couple of hours. How you doing, Skipper?
Storm warning. Big blow on way.
So what?
If this reef not safe, senor, got to make for deep water right away.
Well, the boat stays right here.
No, too dangerous. Boat bust up on reef.
I tell you when to move that boat.
I am skipper.
Now, you want your dough, you do as I say.
Please, senor, I got to move my boat.
Angel, give me a rod. See this? Now, you try to move that boat, and I'll blow your brains out. I will be out of here in a couple of hours.
Si, senor.
Now, get back to the boat. Angel, that cop's car, drive it off the road. Bring it around back.
Sure. Hey, boss, Ziggy's coming, huh?
Yeah. Just 2 more hours.
Then what, huh? Then what?
Then Johnny Rocco is back in business.
In a few moments, we return with the second act of Key Largo. And now, our Hollywood reporter, Libby Collins, with news about the stars.
Isn't it good to have Betty Hutton back on the screen again, Mr. Keeley, after a 2-year absence?
I should say so. You know, Betty is just the girl to put over a madcap musical like Paramount's Red Hot and Blue.
Oh, there's no one quite like Betty. She's her own slam-bang self once again. Victor Mature plays her boyfriend in the picture, and I must say they make a wonderful pair.
There's also a new twist, Libby, having the villain of the picture played by Frank Lesser, composer of the 4 song hits in Red Hot and Blue.
You know, it's his first screen role, and he enjoyed it as much as he did hearing Betty sing his song.
Looks lovelier than ever, doesn't she?
Oh, yes, indeed. Of course, you know, she's now the mother of a second adorable daughter.
Well, that makes 3 beauties in the family. All Lux girls, I'll bet.
Yes, John. You can be sure those little girls will get the right start on complexion care. Betty has used Lux soap for years to protect her lovely complexion.
You know, Libby, Lux toilet soap just has to be good. When 9 out of 10 famous stars depend on it for daily beauty care.
There couldn't be a finer soap. Women love the softer, smoother look Lux soap facials give their skin.
And these facials do make skin lovelier. Tests by skin specialists prove it. In actually 3 out of 4 cases, complexions improved in a short time.
A Lux soap facial is so quick and easy. Just smooth the creamy, fragrant lather well in. Rinse, pat with a soft towel to dry. That's all. But it works.
Why not take a tip from Hollywood? Try this fine product of Lever Brothers Company, the gentle complexion soap that screen stars recommend. You'll be delighted with the fresh new beauty Lux toilet soap gives your skin. Now, here's our producer, Mr. William Keeley.
Act 2 of Key Largo, starring Edward G. Robinson as Johnny Rocco, Claire Trevor as Gay, and Edmund O'Brien as Frank. It's a few minutes later. On the porch of the modest hotel, a cluster of Indians patiently observe the increasing fury of the hurricane. Inside, the lobby and bar are deserted. Johnny Rocco is going up the stairs.
Can you talk, Clive? Are you feeling better?
Well, I guess I'm all right now, Mrs. Temple.
What happened? Go ahead, Copper. Tell him.
I drove back here alone. I was sure those 2 Indians were around here somewhere. I was near your dock when somebody slugged me. Whose room is this?
A very famous man, Johnny Rocco's.
Rocco?
You heard him, Deputy.
What did Miami have to say?
They're on their way. Well, how you feeling, Copper? You give your left eye to nail me, wouldn't you? Local deputy captured Johnny Rocco. The picture in all the papers, huh? Well, listen, Hick. That was too much for any big city police to handle. They tried, but they couldn't.
That's right, Mr. Sawyer. It took the United States government to get Johnny Rocco.
Yeah, and I'm back again, ain't I? They threw me out, but now I'm back. And before you know it, I'll be pulling the strings again. I'll be electing mayors and governors before you ever get a $10 raise. Yeah. How many of those guys in office owe everything to me? I made them. I made them like a tailor makes a suit of clothes. I take a nobody seat, teach him what to say. I pay for his campaign expenses, dish out a lot of groceries and coal, get my boys to bring the voters out and then count the votes over and over again till they add up right, and he's elected. And what happens? Does he remember when the going gets tough, when the heat's on? No. All he wanted was to save his own dirty neck. Yeah. Public enemy, he calls me. Me, who gave him his public all wrapped up with a fancy bow on it. What am I getting mad about? Billy, lay out my clothes.
What suit, Johnny?
What rayon on the white shirt? Nora, huh? Your name is Nora, huh? That little wildcat. What are you sore about, honey?
Keep away from me.
Wait till I'm dressed up. You like style, I can tell.
Keep away from me.
You know, I knew one like you a long time ago. Scratched, kicked, bit, even stuck a knife in me once. Little and kind of skinny she was, with a real fireball. Her name was Maggie Mahoney. And then, for professional reasons, I had to change her to Gay Dawn.
She was sure some knockout in those days.
Yeah, just like this one, Curly? Just like this one, huh?
Look at him. The great Johnny Rocco, slapped by a girl.
Shut up, old man. You hillbillies. There's nothing to stop me from wiping you all out.
Give her a smack. Get it out of your system.
That might be right for you, Curly, but not for Johnny Rocco.
I need your advice, soldier. I asked for it.
No, smacking her isn't enough for such an insult. He'd have to kill her. And he'd have to kill the rest of us because we witnessed it. But he needs your help. So he's going to forget it.
Wise guy, huh? Regular wise guy.
Unlock the door! Unlock this door! I want out!
It's the blonde, Johnny, sounding off again.
Let her out. Get out, all of you. I'm going to get dressed.
I'd take off my hat to you, soldier. It's a good thing you said what you did. I know Johnny. He'd have started shooting.
Where is everybody? Downstairs? Oh. Hi, everybody. Where's Johnny?
In his room.
I need a drink. What's everybody doing upstairs? Miss Temple. Hey, what's wrong, honey? You've been crying. Has somebody been mean to you? Oh, him, huh? Did you make her cry?
I may be partly responsible.
Well, you ought to be ashamed.
Come on, downstairs. Downstairs.
Come on, let's go to the bar, honey. Have a little drink. It'll chase the blues away.
No, thanks.
I think I'll have one.
The boss said that...
I don't care what he said. I need a drink. I don't feel well. How many times do I have to tell you?
Johnny says no more drink.
This is a free country. If I want a drink, I can have one. I can buy my own. See? Yeah. Well, it's money, isn't it? Take it.
Sorry, baby. The boss
The
said...
boss. Tell the boss he can... Hello, darling.
How come it's hotter at night than in the day? When it's raining than when it ain't. Well, wise guy?
I don't know.
You don't know? I thought you was a wise guy from way back. You got $1 million?
No.
How much?
Nothing.
But you're a wise guy.
Johnny, why don't you talk to me?
Well, wise guy?
You see, Mr. Rocco, I was educated only in impractical things. With you, it's just the opposite.
I am afraid to storm. I hate thunder.
Say, Pop, this is a hurricane, huh? A real thing.
It's the beginning.
Oh, I'm afraid.
Can cars get through during a hurricane?
Maybe, maybe not.
I think I'll have a scotch and soda, please.
No.
Oh, please,
No.
darling.
You, McLeod.
Yes, sir.
You know, I can see right through you. You're saying to yourself, I'm better than Rocco. He's felt. Like the old man says here. Right?
Right.
You say to yourself, Rocco's got a gun, and I haven't. You figure it's a gun. Well, listen, soldier. Thousands of guys got guns, but there's only one Johnny Rocco.
How do you account for it?
He knows what he wants, Mr.
Sure.
What do you want?
Tell him, Rocco.
Well, I want,
He wants more.
Yeah, that's it, more. I want more.
Will you ever get enough?
Well, I never have. No, I guess I won't. You know what you want?
I had hopes once, but I gave them up.
Hopes for what?
A world in which there's no place for Johnny Rocco.
Okay, soldier. Here's your chance. Give me a gun, Curly. Now you take mine, soldier. Go on, take it. That's it. All right, so you can make your hopes come true. But you gotta die for it. See where I'm aiming? Right at your belly. Go ahead, shoot. You got a gun now. You gonna use it or not?
Kill him, Frank. Kill him.
Yeah, kill him. Go ahead now. Show him how you're not afraid to die for your hopes.
No. One Rocco Rocco, more or less, isn't worth dying for.
Give it to me. Give me the gun and the same chance.
Oh, no, Pop. I'm afraid you'd use it. What's the matter? What's the matter, Nora, honey? You look like you lost somebody near and dear. A live war hero. Well, now I know how you did it. Hey, Curly, Gay, anybody want a hero? Here's one for sale, cheap.
All right, Rocco. Let you and me play that game.
He got the gun. Clyde got the gun. Kill him, Clyde. Kill him.
You can stop me from going out that door, Rocco. But I'll shoot you first. If your friends shoot me, you'll still get it. Now then, stand away from that door. I said to stand away.
The gun wasn't loaded. He didn't have a chance.
Murderer.
I had to do it, old man, or he would have been out that door and gone.
Hey, sure gone now, Johnny.
You were right, little lady. That gun wasn't loaded, but the brave deputy didn't know it.
But you knew the gun was empty, didn't you, Frank? You could tell by the weight.
No. No, I didn't know.
Oh, but you were smart, fella. I always say it's better to be a live coward than a dead hero. Oh, excuse me. I guess I was talking too much.
You weren't afraid, son. We know that.
I was afraid. That's not why I didn't pull the trigger. What do I care about Johnny Rocco, whether he lives or dies? Rocco wants to come back to America. Let him. Let him be president. I fight nobody's battles but my own.
No, Frank, no.
Yeah, say, that's good. Rocco for president.
If I believed your way, I'd want to be dead. It's true you are a coward.
Hey, Toots, get rid of the deputy. You and Curly, get rid of him. And as for you, sister, I want something to eat.
Our best is none too good for Johnny Rocco.
Yeah, well, now you're talking, sister. Molly, you go to the kitchen with her, Angel. I ain't ready to die yet. Not from cockroach poison.
He's on the phone, boss. Ziggy, why ain't he here? Why ain't he coming?
Oh, he's coming, all right. Give me that phone. Hey, what's the idea, Ziggy? Why ain't you started yet? Well, we got a hurricane here, too, so what? Now, look, wait a minute. Keep quiet. Look, I make the run from Cuba. I risk my neck, and you won't come out in the rain. I'll give you 2 hours to get here. You ain't here by 10, the deal's off. Hello.
Well?
Phone's gone dead. So what? You heard what I had to say. Gay, didn't I say no drinking?
Oh, please, honey, just one.
There are some people at the door, Mr. Rocco. They want to come in.
It's them Indians, boss. Getting kind of blowy out there, I guess.
I'll send them away. Get rid of them.
No, you have no right.
So he has no right.
I'm going upstairs.
You're not going anywhere, honey. Well, Mr. McLeod, ain't you got any conversation left?
I've said my piece.
Yeah, you sure did, wise guy. Well, let's talk about her, the lady on the bar stool. You know, one thing I can't stand is a dame that's a drunk. What I mean is they tear my stomach. No good to themselves or anybody else.
Drunk? I haven't even had one drink.
She's got the shakes, see? So she has a drink to get rid of them. That one tastes so good, she has another one.
You gave me my first drink, Johnny.
Oh, so it's all my fault now. Everybody has that first drink, don't they? But everybody ain't a lush.
Oh, if I'd have known you were going to act this way, I wouldn't have come here.
You know, 8 years since I seen her, Pop. You wouldn't know it was the same dame.
Gee, honey, you're as mean as can be.
Mean as can. Now, what does that remind me of?
Don't you remember, Johnny? In a song, she used to sing it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, meet it. You know, I gave her a first chance. Took her out of the chorus, made her a singer. Mention that while you're at it.
Gee, Johnny, I didn't mean anything.
Yeah, she could have had a future.
That's right. She had everything.
Yeah, voice, looks, plenty of class.
Yeah, I was the rage. Gee, honey, I've never...
Now, look, Gay. Why don't you give us your old song? Come on.
You mean right now?
Yeah, now.
I can't.
Sure you can.
Please, Johnny, don't make me.
Now, look, if you were nice, if you sang a song for us, you can have a drink.
Well, can I have the drink?
No, the song, then the drink.
Without any accompaniment?
Now, look, do you want the drink or don't you?
Okay.
Well?
You should have seen me then, Miss Temple. See, my gowns were gorgeous. Only the best. And yet I hardly wore any makeup. Just some lipstick, that's all. And no lights when I came out. Just a baby spot. They play the intro in the dark, and then the spot would come on, and there I'd be.
Well, Go ahead now. Sing for the people, honey. Keep quiet, everybody. Go ahead, Gay, sing.
Moaning low, my sweet man, I love him so. Though he's mean as can be, he's the kind of man, he's the kind of woman like me. Gonna die, my sweet man should pass me by. If I die, Johnny, give me the drink. Give me the drink.
No.
Johnny.
No.
Make a promise.
You were lousy. You couldn't even finish that number.
Here. Here's your drink.
Thanks, fella. Johnny, let him alone. No.
Yeah, you're right. Let him alone. He ain't worth slapping around. Hey, old man. The storm. How bad can it get? How bad?
Back in 35, 800 people washed out to sea.
Yeah? Well, how far away was that from here?
Oh, a few miles.
Oh. Yeah, well, I want a drink. Fix everybody a drink, Angel. Oh, everybody except her.
Frank, I'm sorry about the things I said before.
Forget it, Nora.
You gave her a drink. He was ready to kill you for that, but that made no difference. You had to help her. Your head said one way, but your whole life said another. The other things, maybe they're true. Maybe it is a rotten world. But a cause isn't lost as long as someone is willing to go on fighting.
Only I'm not that someone.
You may not want to be, but you can't help yourself.
What do you know about me?
A lot. From the way you look and talk. From the things George wrote me.
Come on. Break it up over there, will you? I don't like people whispering. Why's everybody so quiet? Well, go on, talk, why don't you? You, Curly, say something.
What do you want me to say, Johnny?
Well, anything, just so it's talk. Go on, go ahead.
Well, I'll bet you 2-3 years we get prohibition back.
Yeah, go on, go on.
This time we make it stick.
Yeah.
I bet you 2-3 years prohibition comes back. Absolutely, yeah.
I bet you.
The trouble was, before, too many guys wanting to be on top.
Yeah.
One mob gets to massacring the other. The papers play it up big, see? So what happens?
Look, Bob, I don't believe it. 800 guys getting washed out to sea. You're a liar, old man.
200 miles an hour that wind blew. The tidal wave, 12 feet high, went right across the key. A month afterwards, bodies were found in the mangrove swamps.
You don't like it, do you, Rocco? The storm. Show us your gun, why don't you? If it doesn't stop, shoot it.
So the public votes out prohibition, and that's the end of the mobs. Next time it'll be different, though. We learned our lesson, all right. Next time the mobs will all get together.
I'm asking God Almighty to make a big wave now. Send it crashing down on us. Destroy us all if need be, but punish him.
Shut up, Bob. I'm warning you. Shut up!
Heavy! I'll kill you!
The Temple, don't. He will.
You don't have to stand in front of me. Let him shoot me. Make a big wave, Lord. Send it against us. Take us all, but destroy him.
I guess we both forgot, Mr. Rocco. Your gun, it's empty.
No, it ain't empty now. I'm loading it. See, wise guy?
Johnny, we'll all be killed in this place. The storm is getting worse.
Slowing down. The whole place is slowing down.
Outside, Johnny, it's people outside.
Destroy him, Lord. Destroy him.
Pause now for station identification. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
In a moment, we'll present the third act of Key Largo. I believe our guest tonight, Miss Debbie Reynolds, has established a record. You must be the youngest starlet on the Warner Brothers lot, Debbie.
Well, I'm 17, Mr. Keeley, and I was lucky enough to be signed even before I graduated from high school.
Wonderful. Had time to catch your breath yet?
Not quite, Mr. Keeley. There's so much to learn. I never miss a studio showing of a new picture. One that especially impressed me was The Hasty Heart.
Ah, yes, a most unusual story starring Ronald Reagan and Patricia Neal.
That's right, Mr. Keeley. And in addition, there's Richard Todd, the new British actor. I'm perfectly sure he's going to make a hit over here.
And moviegoers will applaud Patricia Neal as an army nurse. You know, she plays her role with great charm and conviction.
Isn't she lovely? Ronald Reagan is the American soldier who falls in love with her.
Well, now, Debbie, who could blame him? She's mighty easy on the eyes.
Oh, yes. A gorgeous blonde. And in her nurse's uniform, she's simply dreamy. What a complexion. She's a Lux girl, Mr. Kennedy. Never neglects her daily Lux soap facials.
Like most screen stars, she knows it's a care she can depend on. A gentle, protecting care that's right for delicate skin.
Well, it certainly works for me. It's a real beauty soap. And I'd like to recommend Lux Soap Care to any girl who wants a nicer complexion.
Thank you, Miss Debbie Reynolds, for that very sound beauty hint. 9 out of 10 screen stars, you know, use Lux Toilet Soap for daily complexion care. Try it for your precious complexion soon. You'll discover that this fine white soap with a delicate fragrance really makes skin lovelier. Here's our producer, Mr. William Keeley.
The curtain rises on the third act of Key Largo, starring Edward G. Robinson as Johnny Rocco, Claire Trevor as Gay, and Edmund O'Brien as Frank. On Key Largo, the little hotel still stands. It's weathered another hurricane, and now the storm is passing out to sea. It's nearly 10 o'clock. In the lobby, Johnny Rocco stands before a window, peering out into the night.
I don't mind telling you, Pop, that storm had me a little scared there for a while.
I'm sorry it's gone. I'm sorry you're still alive.
Well, keep praying, Pop. Maybe something will happen.
You think Ziggy's going to show up?
Sure he'll show up.
We'll get out of here then, won't we, honey? I've all packed. I'm ready to leave any
Well, let's get upstairs, Curly. We'll get the stuff ready for when Ziggy gets here. Oh, Angel, stay there, will you? Watch him.
Yes, sure.
You'll be leaving too, Frank?
Yes, I guess so.
Will we ever see you again?
Well, I hope so.
Why don't you stay right on here with us? You're most welcome. Go on, tell him, Nora. You tell him.
Have you any folks?
No.
I'd be proud to have you regard us as your family.
Maybe that isn't what Frank wants to have. Maybe...
Hey, boss! Boss! Hey, where is he?
Upstairs.
What's the matter?
Hey, the boat's gone. Not a sign of it.
Gone, huh? Well, he done it. And Skipper. I told him I'd kill him, but he took the boat anyway, just the same.
Hey, what's the joke?
No boat. It strikes me funny.
Well, there is a boat. All ready for us down at the dock. Pop, we're going to borrow your boat.
Who's going to run it for you? Answer me that.
That's right, Johnny. We don't know nothing about boats.
He's going to run it. The soldier. The wise guy. He knows about boats, don't you?
Yeah, some.
His first sweetheart was a boat. I heard him tell her.
Well, you're taking us to Cuba.
Why should I?
Because you know it'll happen to you if you don't. Besides, one Rocco, more or less, ain't worth dying for. Ain't that what you said?
Hey, boss, it's the law, boss. Sheriff.
Okay. One wrong word out of anybody, and he gets it now.
Mr. Temple.
You understand me, old man? All right, sister, let him in.
Just a minute, Mr. Wade.
Good evening, miss. I'm looking for Clyde Sawyer.
He's not here.
You been here?
No, not tonight.
That's funny. Put in a call for me from here about 7 o'clock. Well, evening, Temple, folks. Pretty good blow, huh?
Yeah, a regular hurricane. How's the road?
Passable. I'm trying to find my deputy. By the way, on the telephone, who answered?
Nobody was around, so I answered. I guess Mr. Sawyer must have got stalled along the road.
Seen anything of the Indians, Mr. Temple, those Osceola brothers?
No.
Sheriff! Get up, you dogs! I'm sorry. Guess the storm upset him some.
Well, I don't mind saying it had us all a little upset.
That's funny.
Sheriff!
He's found something out there. I know that bark.
You got a flashlight? Let's see what it is.
Yeah, he's found something all right. Let's go.
Well, that's some dog he's got, Mr. Temple. He found something, all right. A dead man.
It was him, Temple. Clyde. He'd been murdered.
Well, I don't like to say anything, Sheriff. After all, it's not my business, but those Indians you were talking about, they were here before.
The Osceolas?
Yeah, they were out there all during the storm. Left only a few minutes ago.
I'll get them. I'll get them Indians. It's the last thing I do.
No, Ben, no.
You lied to me, Temple. Your Indians murdered Clyde Sawyer.
Watch yourselves all. You're one peep and I shoot.
you hadn't seen the Osceolas. You lied, didn't you? They murdered Clyde. Them Indians thought they could hide his body, but the storm tore it loose and threw it up right out there, right in front of your door. And that's where the crime belongs, right at your door.
Man, that shooting just now.
They tried to get away. I killed them both.
Kill them.
You. What's your name?
Killed them?
Me? Howard Brown.
Address?
Hotel Central, Milwaukee.
Haven't I seen you someplace before?
No, I don't think so. Oh, these other men, they're friends of mine. We're all here from Milwaukee, Sheriff. Deep sea fishing.
See that you all stay here. I'll be back in the morning.
Yeah, you did a great job, didn't you, hiding that body?
Boss, how did I know the storm would...
Now, shut up. Ziggy. Here, Ziggy, don't come now.
Ziggy's here, boss. Him and his boys, they're here.
What are you talking about?
They drove up in the background. The sheriff was out hunting Indians.
That's Ziggy. All right, Pop. You and the soldier boy and the dame inside. Get in your office. Come on, you too, Gay.
No, but
I said inside. Angel, you stay with him. I don't want no more trouble. All right, bring him in, Curly. Ziggy and his mom. Bring him in. Well, look at him. Ziggy. Well. You sure are a sight for sore eyes.
Sure great to see you again, Johnny pal. Hey, put on a little weight, huh?
Now, look who's talking. Say, guess who's here?
Huh?
The blonde. Remember? Gay Dawn.
Gay, here?
Oh, you think I'm kidding? Gay! Come on, get in here.
Hey, as pretty as ever. Where you been, honey, all the time Johnny was away?
All around.
If I'd have known that, I'd have tried to beat Johnny's tie.
The same old Ziggy. All right, baby, all right. Come on, step aside. Why don't you go over there, fix yourself a drink?
A drink?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Well, Ziggy, the stuff's all here in the suitcase.
Open up, let's see it. Hey, Lou, come here.
Who's he?
Lou, just about the best expert there is on counterfeit dough.
Oh.
Take a look, Lou.
The paper feels good. Blade works okay. Portrait's good. No breaks in the lines.
Serial numbers check out?
What do you think? I'm an amateur?
Back cover's okay, Ziggy. Looks like high-class merchandise.
Okay, huh?
So far, yeah. Now bring out the engraving.
Now, wait a minute. Now, just don't stall, Ziggy, will you? I'm kind of in a hurry.
Don't have much time, Mr. McCloud. They'll be leaving soon. What are you going to do?
Not much choice, is there? I'll run the boat for them.
Oh, no, don't. Don't go with us. They'd wait till you got inside of Cuba and then they'd kill you.
She's right, Frank. Tell them you'll go. Then when you get outside in the dark, make a break. Run. Try to get away.
Yes, your only chance, fella. Out there in the dark. Make a break.
Yeah, that's what my head says.
You ain't gonna make a fight of it.
I don't know. Not that one Rocco, more or less, makes any difference. What I said still goes. And it's just
They'll kill you.
If a man's a fighter, he can't walk away from a fight. That's the answer, I guess. I know how he feels.
Well, listen, they're leaving. They made their deal.
Yeah. Well, we just wait now. See what happens.
Hey, you, McCloud. Come in here. All of you, come in here.
Your friends leave?
Yeah. Are you coming with a soldier, yes or no? I'm in a hurry.
You win, Mr. Rocco.
Yeah, I thought you'd change your mind. Well, Nora, want to come along, sister? Want to come along?
Where are my things, Johnny? I better get my things.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, you're not coming.
Johnny.
Let go of me. Will you get off me?
Please take me with you. You got to, Johnny. You got to.
Oh, please, I'll stop drinking.
Get out of my way.
I'll kill myself. I will. Johnny, please.
Baby.
Please listen. I'll be good like I was before. I won't let you go without me. You got to take me with you. You've got to.
Johnny, we're wasting time. Get away from me. Now, stay close to the soldier, will you? If he tries anything, let him have it good. Now, so long, old man. Next time you have a hurricane, think of Johnny Rocco.
Frank. Goodbye, Frank.
Good luck, son.
Thanks.
They're on the dock. I can see him. He's starting the motor.
He'll make his break now. He'll run away. He's got a gun now. He'll be able to.
Gun? What gun?
Yeah, Rocco's. I took Rocco's gun and gave it to him.
You?
Yeah, why doesn't he run? Run, fella. Run! Why doesn't he run?
He's in the boat. They're casting off.
He had his chance to run. His only chance. And he didn't take it.
No answer. The phone's still dead. I'll take the car, Dad. I'll drive to Palm Grove, the Coast Guard station.
Yeah. Coast Guard.
I'll hurry. I'll be back as soon as I can.
How we doing, McLeod? We're on our course, or close to it. Just see that you keep us that way. Hey, Toots, how you feeling?
I told you I could never stand a boat. I feel awful, all this bouncing up and down.
There's a bed down there.
Yeah, it's too hot down there. Hey, what time is it?
Little after 4. Not halfway there yet. Watch McLeod. If he tries anything, shoot.
Yeah, sure. Must have had a little nap. Everything all right up there, Curly?
Yeah. What's the matter with Angel?
No, sleeping. He'll take over for Toots after a while. Yeah, they've been talking about us on the radio just now. We got boats out looking for us. Coast Guard.
We got too much of a start for him.
Yeah, fog like this, they couldn't find a Queen Mary. Got some cars? Let's kill a little time.
Hey, you, Toots. What do you want? You try anything?
Take a look over the stern. See if we picked up any kelp.
Any what?
Seaweed. Can foul up the shaft. You better look.
Okay. No, I don't see any. Help! Help!
What's the matter? What's going on out there?
Your friend, he fell overboard.
You did it. When you read the motors just now. Yeah, when you swung the wheel, you made him fall over. Johnny!
I got a gun. Stay where you are, Curly.
Johnny! Watch it. He's got a gun.
Oh, Curly. Curly, what's the matter? Curly!
You don't answer. Nobody answers Toots and Curly.
Curly!
Steps, Johnny. What coming down steps?
Well, it's him, McLeod. The soldier. Curly killed him. Go on, go up there. Get up there and see. Well, don't you hear me?
I'll get killed.
You gonna go up there, are you? There's nothing to be afraid of. Curly shot him. He's dead.
Then you go, Johnny. You go up.
Nobody tells me what to do. Nobody.
Johnny.
Hey, soldier. Soldier, listen to me. I know you're up there. Say something. Curly's dead, huh? Well, so's Angel. Just me now. Me down here and you up there. From now on, we'll be partners. Everything will be 50-50. I got $100,000 out here. $100,000. Well, what do you say? Can you hear me? What do you say? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You'll get rid of me and have all the money for yourself. Is that it? Is it? Well, suppose I say the money's yours. Yeah, I'll toss up the suitcase. I'll throw it up there on deck. There! Now you believe me? It's yours. And plenty more when we get to Cuba. Do you hear me? I'll make you rich. Soldier! Soldier! You're not big enough to do this to Rocco. I'll kill you! You'll never bring me. You never! Now, look. Look, soldier, look. I know what it is. Yeah, you figure that I got Angel's gun, that you can't trust me, right? Okay. I'll throw the gun up there, too. There! There's the gun. The money in my gun. Now, what else have I got? I'm leveling with you, soldier. Okay, you believe me now? Look, I'm coming up. I got no gun, and I'm coming up. Where are you? Dark up here.
Get back to the stern, Rocco.
Nobody gives me orders. Some wire cut, huh? That was a deputy's gun I threw away. You don't think I...
Go ahead, Santana. We lost you. Come in, please. We lost your signal. Come in, please. Over.
Sorry. I was calling Coast Guard.
This is the Coast Guard. Please identify yourself. Over.
My name is Frank McLeod. I'm about 12 miles off Boot Key Harbor on my way in. Over.
Are you all right? Are you all right? Over.
Yeah, I guess so. But I'll need medical attention. Over.
Continue on course. Stand by on this frequency.
I'm standing by. Will you put me through to the Largo Hotel?
Stand by, Santana. We'll try to put you through.
No
sign of him at all?
Checked the Coast Guard 10 minutes ago. Nothing yet, Mr. Temple. I'll have to take you in, Miss Dawn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. Take me in.
They all get away, huh, Ben? Sawyer dead, those poor Indians dead, McLeod as good as dead, but Rocco and his gang get away. You get one woman who didn't have anything to do with it.
They didn't all get away, Dad. The state police picked up that man they called Ziggy.
Yeah. They want all of you to identify him. Mr. Temple, I'm mighty grateful to you for saving my life and all, but those two boys, the Osceolas, well, I'd rather been killed than have innocent blood on my hands.
I'm the one to blame. If they hadn't trusted me, they wouldn't have turned up here. They'd still be alive.
Oh, no, Mr. Temple, it wasn't you. It wasn't the law or anybody. It was only Johnny Rocco. Nobody in the whole world is safe as long as he's alive.
We better go, miss.
I'll take it, Dad. Hotel Largo. Yes? It's the Coast Guard. Yes? Yes, I'll hold on. Frank! Oh, thank God. Yes. Yes, Frank. Yes, we'll be waiting.
Nora.
He's all right, Dad. He's coming back to us.
The curtain falls on Key Largo, and the spotlight turns to our stars as you meet them in person. Edward G. Robinson, Claire Trevor, and Edmund O'Brien. Claire, it's easy to understand how your performance in Key Largo won you an Academy Award.
Well, thank you, Bill. And speaking of awards, Eddie Robinson won a very important one in Europe recently. The famous World Award for Acting, presented to him in Cannes, France.
Our congratulations, Eddie. And it's certainly good to have you back after so many months abroad.
Good to be back, Bill, and learn all the news, such as Edmund O'Brien being the father of the prettiest daughter born in Hollywood this year.
Well, what's her name, Edmund?
Bridget Eileen. What else could an O'Brien be named?
Eddie, I hope you know there are certain things a daughter should be taught very early. Things like the right complexion care. Lux soap has been mine for a long time.
What are they saying about that in Paris these days, Eddie?
Well, the same idea, only slightly different words. Le savon Lux et le soin préféré pour mon teint. You know, Lux soap is my favorite complexion care.
Well, that's the perfect way to express it, Eddie. By the way, what was the high spot of your summer in Europe?
Well, I think it was the day I spent in the House of Commons in London to listen to a debate between Mr. Churchill and Mr. Bevan. Now, won't you tell us about next week's play, Bill?
Next week's play was a smash hit on both stage and screen. It's the Paramount success, Dear Ruth. And we'll have the original stars of the picture, Joan Caulfield and William Holden. This is a comedy made to order for family entertainment, so I know you'll all want to join us next Monday night.
Oh, it's a delightful play, Bill.
Lever Brothers Company, the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday evening when the Lux Radio Theater presents Joan Caulfield and William Holden in Dear Ruth. This is William Keighley saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Edward G. Robinson will soon be seen in the London Films production My Daughter Joy. Claire Trevor will soon be seen in the Universal International release Borderline, starring with Fred McMurray. Edmund O'Brien will next be seen in the Warner Brothers picture Backfire. Our play was adapted by S.H. Barnett, and our music was directed by Louis Silvers. Join us again next Monday night to hear Dear Ruth, starring Joan Caulfield and William Holden.
Hollywood, California, Monday, February 22nd. The Lux Radio Theater presents Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland in Captain Blood with Basil Rathbone, Henry Stevenson, and Donald Crisp. Lux presents Hollywood. Our stars, Errol Flynn, Olivia de Havilland, Basil Rathbone, Henry Stevenson, and Donald Crisp. Our guests, Charles Courtney, underwater treasure seeker, and Douglas MacLean, famous star of Silent Days. Our conductor, Mr. Louis Silvers. Our producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille, is deep in the bayous of Louisiana, working on his next picture, The Buccaneer. Until his return next Monday night, it is our privilege to bring you again one of motion picture's great personalities, and an old friend, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Herbert Marshall. So, do the makers of Lux Toilet Soap welcome you to another hour in Hollywood. Now, a word to the ladies. If you've noticed lately that your shoulders, neck, and back are not as lovely as you'd like them to be, as soft and clear as the skin on your face, then ask yourself this. Are you giving them the very best of care? You probably use Lux Toilet Soap as a complexion soap. Do you use it as a bath soap, too? Lux Toilet Soap's active lather goes deep down into the pores, removes perspiration, every last trace of dust and dirt, keeps neck and back and shoulders smooth. For a quick pick-me-up and to protect daintiness, make Lux Toilet Soap your daily beauty bath. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Herbert Marshall.
Good evening, everyone. Many years ago, off the coast of Louisiana, there sailed a pirate named Jean Lafitte, a strange combination of plunderer and patriot, and who, one day, pinched by remorse perhaps, or by a sudden thirsting for new adventure, presented his cutthroats to Andrew Jackson, and thereby brought victory to the United States in the Battle of New Orleans. Tonight, Lafitte claims another British victim, and his name is Herbert Marshall. Lafitte, you see, is the subject of Mr. DeMille's next picture, and right now he's down among the bayous, following the trail of the Buccaneer. He asked me here, so here I am, walking the plank with trembling step and quaking heart, but very thankful that next week Mr. DeMille will bring back in the Lux Theater of Radio, and I once again will be able to resume the peaceful obscurity of a listener in. Our story tonight concerns another pirate, Captain Blood, with Errol Flynn in the title role. Born in Ireland, a descendant of Fletcher Christian, who led the historical mutiny on the Bounty, Errol's old adventures in the South Seas before he turned actor read like a page of strangest fiction. Signed by Warner Brothers, he made his first Hollywood success in tonight's story, and his latest film is Green Light. When Olivia de Havilland appeared here last fall, Mr. DeMille told you how Hollywood changed her plans to become a school teacher and overnight made her a brilliant new star. She, too, appeared in Captain Blood and tonight resumes her role of Arabella. Lovely, unspoiled, and with a talent belying her youth. We'll see her shortly and call it a day. With three other good friends in our cast, being here is something of a reunion for me. There's Basil Rathbone, who plays Captain Levasseur. Our Lord Willoughby is that charming gentleman, Henry Stevenson. While Donald Crisp, my fellow Londoner, who started his film career in The Birth of a Nation, is Colonel Bishop. And now, up goes our curtain as the Lux Radio Theater presents Captain Blood, with Errol Flynn, Olivia de Havilland, Basil Rathbone, Henry Stevenson, and Donald Crisp. And here they are. England, in the year 1685. When James II ascended the throne, many of the common people of England rose in angry protest, only to be beaten into submission by the king's soldiers. Those rebels who survived the royal butchery were led to another certain death, a trial by a jury in Taunton Castle. We're in the great hall of the castle now. Among the 5 prisoners on trial is Peter Blood, a young Irish physician. He awaits his turn with poorly disguised impatience. Editors just delivered the indictment.
Here I charge with being traitors against your most illustrious and most excellent Prince James II. Having no fear of God in your hearts, and being moved and seduced by the devil, you have stirred up war to depose said king. Therefore, you are here to be tried before a jury of your peers. The clerk will call the prisoners.
Jeremy Pitt. Here. Hold up your hand. Are you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
John Wolverstone. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Uriah Ogle. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, praise be to God.
Henry Hagthorpe. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Peter Blood. Guilty or not guilty?
It's entirely innocent I am.
Are you guilty or not guilty? You must say the right words.
Words, is it? Speaking of words, I'd like to say a few about the injustice of keeping an innocent man locked up for 3 months in such filth and heat and ill feeding that my chief regret is I did not try to pull down the filthy fellow that sits on the throne.
Silence. Are you entirely ignorant of the proper procedure in court?
I am most happily ignorant up to now, and I could gladly have done without this acquaintance.
Peter Blood, you were taken into custody at the same time as the other 4 prisoners. You were in their company on the night of the rebellion at Monmouth. Is that true?
Yes, my lord.
Then there is nothing more to be said except the passing of sentence.
May it please your lordship, but there's a deal more to be said. I'm guilty of nothing, your lordship, unless it's adjudged a crime that a physician tried to save a man's life.
What's this? Do you tell us you're a doctor, you rogue?
I do, my lord. I was summoned on that night to the side of a dying rebel. I went and was surprised there with the other prisoners.
A doctor? Where are your witnesses?
Jeremy Pitt, who summoned me.
Oh. Master Pitt will testify. He that is himself a confessed traitor. Is that your witness?
I can bring 100 from the town in which I live.
Have done with it. We have no time for all this. Gentlemen of the jury, inasmuch as Peter Blood has admitted aiding a traitor to your king, I hereby instruct you to return a verdict of guilty, that he may be justly punished for his treason.
So, justice has come to that, has it? A man's to be hanged now for doing his duty, huh?
You will not be hanged, Master Blood. His Majesty has graciously commanded that in the future all convicted rebels are to be spared. They're to be sent to the colonies in the West Indies to be sold as slaves. Clerk, have the prisoners removed. They will sail to the Indies within the fortnight.
Keep us in this hole like rats in a trap. They've no right, I say.
Be quiet, Jeremy Pitt. Keep a hold on yourself. Then the Lord arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. Matthew chapter 8, verse 26. There'll be no calm upon this sea, Master Ogle, until we sight Port Royal. If ever we do sight it. Do you think we will, Peter Blood?
Aye, to our worst luck, Wolverton. It's the sun that rages there, so I hear. Burns deep into a man's blood till the skin shrivels on his bones.
Oh, God. What has happened to us, Peter?
Oh, we'll sweat in the field, Jeremy. First be bought and sold on the auction block like you'd haggle for a pig or a horse. Now count your teeth. Feel your muscles. Put a price on your head small enough to be an insult to a beast. Yes, it's a gay place, the auction block. A fine, gay place.
Line those slaves up there! Line them up there! Get in, you swine! Let them feel the whip. They'll move along fast enough. Well, shall we begin the sale, Governor Steele?
Oh, no, not yet. We're waiting for Colonel Bishop.
But Colonel Bishop is here now, Governor Steele. Here comes his carriage.
Oh, yes. He's brought his niece, I see. Charming girl. Good afternoon, Colonel Bishop.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss Arabella.
How is my darling, the governor, and his foot?
Every day I'm sure my gout can't get any worse, and every day it does.
Let's get on with the sale, Your Excellency.
Oh, of course. My dear Colonel, according to the King's request, it's for you to take first choice, and at your own price.
Egad, they're a weedy-looking lot. Not likely to be of much value on the plantation.
The less you want, the more for Mr. Dixon.
Dixon? Oh, Uncle, I wish you'd buy all the slaves.
Buy them all?
To keep them out of Dixon's hands. I've heard of those mines of his.
And what have you heard?
That they're wet, dark, evil holes. That men can't live there but die in agony of a horrible lung fever. You can't stand by and see men doomed to that, Uncle.
Arabella, don't be childish. They should have been hanged, drawn, and quartered. Any fate they meet is too good for them. Start the sale. Here's the best of the lot, Colonel Bishop. His name is Wolverton. Healthy and strong. Open your mouth. Good teeth. £15. Sold. Move along there. Next.
Get up there, you. Here we are. Here's another good one, Bishop. Peter Blood. Looks healthy enough. Open your mouth.
Open yours and we'll compare them. I wager my gums are in finer shape.
Who is this bag of impertinence? Peter Blood, sir. A doctor he is. Stand over here. Now, open your mouth, you dog.
If there's a dog here, let him show you his teeth. I'll show mine only to bite.
There's a rebellious rascal, Arabella.
Good for him. He has pride, Governor.
Not so good for him, evidently. His pride will purchase him a ticket for Dixon's mine.
He isn't there yet. Auctioneer,
Miss Arabella?
let me speak to this prisoner.
Speak to a dog. Arabella, get back to the carriage.
Please, Uncle. Peter Blood, you're extremely foolish.
You overwhelm me, my lady.
Fortunate for you that I'm here to save you.
If you mean by that lofty speech that you'll persuade him to buy me, I'd thank you not to interfere.
Would you? As it happens, you are hardly in a position to have anything to say about it. Uncle, will you buy him, please?
Him I will not. Let him cool his head in Dixon's mine. I'll have none of him.
Uncle.
I say no.
Very well.
Mr. Dixon, will you make a bid?
I'll give £5 for him.
£5. That's an insulting sum to offer.
Well, does anyone ever more?
I do. I'll give £6.
You flatter me.
I'll give 8.
Arabella, you're making a spectacle of yourself.
Let me be.
£9.
£9. £9, Miss Arabella.
It's a big price to pay for such a skinny fellow, but £10.
Sold to Miss Arabella for £10. What do you wish done with him, Miss Arabella?
Oh, well,
Don't be hesitant, my lady. Speak up. You've paid for me.
I trust you've learned your lesson in appreciation. You may join my uncle's slave.
Thank you. Your very humble slave, my lady.
Arabella, get back to the carriage. Governor Steed will take you to the house.
Of course, of course. This way, Miss Arabella. Oh, blast these bumpy roads. My foot's a bundle of fire.
What does the doctor say, Governor?
Say? He says nothing, of course.
Well, then why not try someone else?
Another doctor? There's only 2 in the whole blasted island, and each is worse than his partner.
There is another now.
Who?
Peter Blood?
Oh, a slave. Would you elevate a slave to be physician to the governor?
Well, why not? If he can help you, you can't tell he may be very good.
Well, it might be worth a try. I'll have him come and treat me for a while. Why are you laughing?
I'm just thinking how annoyed Peter Blood would be if he knew I'd just done him another favor.
Faster, you swine! Turn that way! Water! Give me water! Water, is it?
Jeremy Pitt. Aye, Peter. Go on working. Don't look up at me.
Aye.
I've just come from the boat. It's hidden in South Cove at the end of the path. We'll make a break for it tonight.
Tonight?
Yes, till Wolverstone, Ogle, and Hegthorpe and the others who are in with us.
It's a small boat for so many, Peter Blood.
I've looked it over well. I've been there all afternoon. It'll hold the lot of us.
Are the stores and equipment on board?
Yes, there's enough for it. Careful. There's Bishop.
Peter Blood. Peter Blood, you hear?
Aye, when I'm addressed civilly.
A taste of the lash might improve your hearing.
Uncle, please.
Be quiet. Where have you been?
I've been at my work, attending to the governor at his house.
You lie.
Do I?
The governor's had another attack of gout. He's been screaming for you like a wounded horse all afternoon.
Well, then, it appears I was not at the governor's house.
Where were you then?
Well, I was...
He was with me, Uncle.
Eh?
What's that?
Thank you for protecting my reputation, Dr. Blood. But it was a useless gallantry. My uncle knows that I spend my time with whomever I please.
You might choose your company with better taste. His Excellency is waiting for you, Blood. Colonel Bishop. I'm coming. Get on up to the house, Blood, and don't delay.
Would you care to drive up, Dr. Blood?
Well, thank you.
Drive on.
Miss Bishop, I'd like to...
You're very welcome, Dr. Blood.
It seems that you're continually doing me favors. Faith, I don't know why.
Neither do I. Yes, I do. It's because you're so very grateful and always thank me so prettily.
Sure, now, you don't blame me for resenting you and your favors.
This is interesting. I've had men tell me they have reasons for admiring me, and some few have even made claims to reasons for loving me. But for a man to store up reasons for resenting me, how refreshing. You must tell me a few of them.
The first is reason enough. You bought me. I've had no lack of experiences in my life, but to be bought and sold was a new one. And I was in no mood to thank my purchaser. At any rate, I'm unable to stoop to lick up the scraps of favors tossed to me.
I'm glad for that. Next.
Well, I've resented you because your name's Bishop. My thoughts have lumped you with your uncle. How was I to know, bedad, that a devil can have an angel, a niece?
From a resentful man, that is a pretty fair compliment. Have you any more reasons for resenting me like that one?
Indeed, I have, and the strongest of all. I've resented you because I'm a slave and you're beautiful. Do you understand that?
I don't know. If you were to explain further.
No, I've already talked too much. Why did you lie to your uncle? Why did you tell him I was with you?
Why? Dr. Blood, you're a physician and should know. Is it not considered unhealthy for a slave to be seen at a boat?
At a boat? Why should it be?
Boats put out to sea. Slaves may not.
You're jumping at conclusions, aren't you?
Am I? This afternoon I happened to drive past the South Cove. Fortunately, I was alone at the time.
I see. Miss Bishop, it's difficult for an Irishman to apologize, but I hope you can forgive me for having thought badly of you.
I will. I will if you tell me what you think of me now.
How I think of you? I think of you as... Faith. I think of you as the woman who owns me. Her slave.
Oh.
But I think the man is lucky who can count you his friend.
I think you know you can. What was that?
Sounded like cannon.
It was. Look at the men in the field.
They're looking towards the bay. It must be... Wait.
Can you see?
Yes, there's a fleet sailing in. Spanish man of war.
Spanish? Then it's an attack. A surprise attack.
Quick, into the house.
Where are you going?
I've got to see the men. We've work to do.
Dr. Blood, come back. Don't go down there. Peter.
Jeremy, Wolves, Noble. Aye, Peter Blood. Here, everyone. They want us to defend the bay. Defend the bay. Aye, that we will. Listen, all of you. This is our chance. Our chance to be drilled by a cannonball. Listen. I want you to gather all the slaves, as many as have the spark of courage, and follow me down to the waterfront. What for? We need a boat, do we not? Aye. And we'll have one. But none of your skulking little craft. We'll take a good one, a Spanish man of war. Aye. Aye. We'll board her under the fire from the other ships. Take command of her. Turn our cannons on any Spanish boat that blocks our way to the sea. Aye. It's a long chance, friends, but with the help of God, we'll make it. Are you with me? Aye. Peter. Then come on, everyone.
I say. Did you see that boat, Colonel Bishop? A Spanish man of war saved the town from destruction.
A Spanish boat, but manned by Englishmen, I'll warrant. She sunk the rest of the Spanish fleet and holds the bay alone.
It must be that some brave party of citizens got aboard that ship and have taken it captive.
Gad, I think you're right. Someone should go aboard and congratulate them.
Yes,
I'll have the longboat row me out.
Oh.
I'll not be long, Your Excellency.
I hope your uncle does them full honor out there.
They deserve it, Your Excellency. Whoever commanded that party was a brave man. A very brave man.
I wonder who it could have been.
I wonder.
Ahoy! Spanish man of war, ahoy!
They don't answer, Colonel.
That's strange. I'll go aboard. Pull over there by the ladder. Stand by the boat. I'll be down directly.
Aye, sir.
Ahoy, is anybody here?
Welcome aboard our boat, Colonel Darwin.
You?
I, Peter Blood.
Was it you, then, who took this ship and turned defeat into victory?
Myself it was. Myself and these, my friends, and your friends.
Gad, my life, it was heroic.
Heroic, is it? Dad, it was epic.
Well, you amaze me. Upon my soul, you amaze me. Blast me, you deserve well. You all deserve well, and you shall find me grateful.
How grateful?
Well, I'll ask His Excellency to write home to the king on account of your exploit. And maybe some portion of your sentence shall be remitted.
About what we expected from you. Colonel Darlin, such unusual generosity from you must be making you feel very ill. Now, as your physician, I prescribe...
Hang him! No.
Wait. We've done no hanging yet, man. Ogle, what do you suggest?
So they took up Jonah and cast him forth into the sea.
Are you ready, men?
No. Let me down.
One.
Put me down. No.
And then the whale came and swallowed Jonah, I hope. What now, Captain Blood? Captain, is it? So be it, then. Each man to his post. Make ready for sea.
Make ready for sea.
Up into the shrouds, men. Take the helm, Jeremy.
Aye. But a name. We must have a new name for the boat.
What name shall it be, Captain Blood?
A new name, eh? Very well. We'll call her the Arabella.
The Arabella it is.
Going on with Captain Blood in just a moment. Now, a short side trip to the home of a reporter from one of the famous movie magazines. This particular reporter has a new roommate from New York. Let's listen in.
Peg, do me a favor, will you? Kind of look over this beauty article tonight. I walked the dressing rooms of every studio in Hollywood today to get the dope for it.
Oh, why don't I get jobs like that? I've never been in a studio dressing room yet. Boy, I'll bet those screen stars have some plenty expensive beauty aids around. Upkeep on $1 million complexions must be something.
Hey, don't tell me it's news to you that screen stars use Lux toilet soap. Why, everybody knows that. But believe me, there's a lot in seeing it with your own eyes in the dressing rooms at RKO, Warner's, and all the rest.
Of course, I've heard a lot about Lux toilet soap. And now that I've seen a lot of movie stars' complexions myself, I've decided I'll give it a whirl.
That girl is in for a smooth complexion, the kind that screen stars have to have. Remember, when 9 out of 10 screen stars use Lux toilet soap, it's because this soap keeps skin smooth. Lux toilet soap guards against cosmetic skin. Its active lather removes the hidden traces of dust and dirt, stale rouge and powder that might remain to choke your pores. Before you put on fresh makeup, remove your stale makeup with Lux toilet soap. And be sure never to go to sleep at night without this important care. Lux toilet soap is a beauty soap thousands of happy girls are using. You'll like it, too. Once again, Herbert Marshall.
On with the story of Captain Blood, starring Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland, with Basil Rathbone, Henry Stevenson, and Donald Crisp. When Peter Blood and his men sailed out of Port Royal, a price was set upon their heads. Unable to put into any civilized port, they took the only course open to them. They turned to piracy. With a ship, a handful of men, and a brain, Peter Blood carved out a crimson career in his new profession until his name became the terror of the Caribbean.
Captain Blood! Captain Blood! Captain Blood! The Peter is safe! I tell you, Peter Blood must die!
Until his name became the pride and toast of every buccaneer.
Peter Blood!
Tortuga, an island off the coast of Haiti, was the one haven of refuge for pirate craft. Captain Blood and his men are there now, in an evil-smelling tavern, dimly lit by hanging lanterns, crowded with drunken, leering buccaneers.
Captain Blood!
Hi, Jeremy.
Captain Lerner is waiting for you in the other room.
He is he?
Yes, it's about the partnership.
Tell him I'll be there. Come on, lad. Join with me on this.
is as I tell you, mon Captain Blood. What a pair we would make. In all the Caribbean, there is no buccaneer so strong as me. Except you.
You almost flatter me, Levasseur.
Then why you hold off so long your consent we become partners, huh? Here you have been in Tortuga these 3-4 months. You must be even so much in need of gold as I.
Such a partnership requires sober thought. My poor brain has been dancing with rum this whole week past.
Even so drunk, your brain is the greatest, huh? With your brain and my strength, oh, Monsieur le Capitaine, what? There is nothing we cannot do.
Bedad, there's very little I can't do entirely without you.
My men are much in favor of the partnership. That is so, men?
And my men, I'll leave it to them. Are you in favor? Very well, then. It's done. But wait, Levasseur. It's understood, is it not, that we sail under my articles?
It is, but I do not like so very much your so strict rules about women.
No women to be taken as prisoners. Agreed?
May we? To get you as a partner, mon Capitaine, I would agree to anything. Now, what is the first order, mon Capitaine partner?
We sail with the tide. Outside the harbor, we'll scatter. Each ship will proceed singly in order to pick up what stray prizes we may run into on the journey. We'll converge at the island of Virgin Magra.
Magnifique. I give you the toast. To our so great success.
Let me give one to the greatest captain on the coast.
Capitaine Levasseur.
Captain Blood.
Here, here. Captain Blood. Capitaine Levasseur.
Oui. You hear the lookout, mon Capitaine? An English vessel off our port.
We are lucky, yes? Just as I am about to give up and anchor to wait for my partner, Captain Blood, this very fine English prize walk right into my parlor and say, bonjour, Levasseur. We go to give welcome, Cahusac, huh?
Oui, mon Capitaine.
Run up the Spanish flag. We must take them by surprise. Run up the Spanish flag!
Vessel, the lookout says. Do you see it, Lord Willoughby?
Aye, there it is, Miss Arabella.
Oh, yes. I wonder if she's going to Port Royal, too.
Have you been away long, Miss Arabella?
Almost 6 months, a kind of vacation.
You glad to get back?
In a way, I suppose I would have stayed longer in England if my uncle hadn't sent for me. He's been made governor, you know.
Yes, I've heard. It's natural that he should want his niece back again. One needs a woman to brighten up social occasions, especially when the woman in question is so very charming.
However else things change, Lord Willoughby, the art of flattery still flourishes.
Stab me if it's flattery. When the king ordered me on this journey as a special emissary to the West Indies, I looked forward with some trepidation to a life among the savages. And when I came aboard and found that you were one of those savages returning home to her native heath, my grateful eyes couldn't believe it.
You pictured us running around in animal skins eating raw meat?
Why not, in a country filled with Indians, Africans, and pirates? Oh, speaking of pirates, did you ever happen to hear of a wild rogue named Peter Blood?
Peter Blood?
Yes.
No. I don't know him. I hardly number pirates among my acquaintances.
No, of course not. Silly of me. I only mentioned him in passing because he happens to touch on the business of my mission.
Your mission?
Yes. I'm sent to attempt to blot out all this piracy, my dear, in a manner which I must keep secret until I can find Captain Blood.
Oh. You're looking for him.
Aye. Look, stab me if that Spanish vessel isn't cutting clean across our bow. Captain Hall! Captain!
Yes, your lordship?
What ship is that, you know?
Well, I've been watching her, your lordship. She flies a Spanish flag. She could be anything in these waters.
We're in pirate waters now, aren't we?
Yes, my lord. Yonder bank of low clouds is the island of Virgin Magra.
Exciting, isn't it, Miss Arabella? Could she be a pirate ship by any chance, Captain?
Well, any ship we meet in the Caribbean could be a pirate ship. You know, I wouldn't trust.
She fired across our bow.
All hands on deck! All hands on deck!
She is a pirate ship.
And the talons!
Get below, Miss Arabella. The captain's going to fight it out.
Yes, my friend. A brave fight. But you should have known better. Send the prisoners before me, Cahusac.
Wait. Stand here, my Lord Willoughby. And, you here, madame.
My friends, this pleasant strip of beach on which we find ourselves is the island of Virgin Magra. No boats ever put in here except mine. And one other. So you may put aside any hope of rescue that may be in your mind. The ransom for you two, Lord Willoughby and the so charming lady, is fixed at 20,000 pieces of 8, and I shall provide a boat for you to go to Governor Bishop at Port Royal to collect it, Lord Willoughby. Meanwhile, Mademoiselle remains with me as hostage. I find it very lonely on this island.
I refuse. Absolutely and utterly.
My friend, do you see this knotted cord? It is capable to screw a man's eyes out of his head.
Very well. Do your worst.
Lord Willoughby, thank you, but don't be foolish. You can't fight against them.
Mademoiselle is right. I beg you to spare yourself, monsieur. And the young lady. I have been too modest. But since I have said 20,000 pieces of 8, I have said 20,000 pieces of 8.
And for what, if you please? You said 20,000 pieces of 8.
Peter Blood.
Good morning, Levasseur.
Captain Blood, I did not know you were on the island.
Oh, yes. We arrived late last night and put into a cove a few miles to the west. We've walked across to give you good day, but faith, I seem to have interrupted some little business of yours. Who are these people?
Isn't it so? Look, Captain. She's the girl who...
You recognize the prisoners, Captain Blood?
Why, no. Who are they?
Well, I have captured them. A titled Englishman at the niece of the governor of Jamaica.
Really? Then I suppose congratulations are in order. But had you forgotten there is an article in our agreement forbidding the taking of women prisoners?
That so foolish article of yours.
I was not aware you regarded it so when you signed.
Would you care to dispute my opinion now? Your men against mine.
No, not this morning, thank you. As you say, a foolish article.
That is why these prisoners are of my own. A matter personal.
And the 20,000 pieces of 8?
Also, a matter personal.
Whatever valuables come into our possession are the joint property of all our companies.
Then it is I should cut the prisoners up in so many little pieces and pass them around, eh?
Yes. Obviously, these prisoners, and especially the young lady, must be kept in someone's hands for, shall we say, safekeeping. But why your hand? Why shouldn't Pierre have her?
I should have her.
Or Rock, or Jacob. Since she's as much their property as yours. Come here, girl. Here, I say.
What do you want with me?
I want to look at you. Be damned if I blame you, Levasseur. A trifle skinny, perhaps. But an attractive baggage at that. And now, my captain, since you covet what is our joint property of war, you may have her, providing you're willing to buy her.
Buy her?
Yes, at the price you yourself have set upon her. 20,000 pieces of 8.
That is right, mon capitaine. It is reasonable. It is in the article.
What is in the articles, you fool? Where do you suppose I have 20,000 pieces of 8?
Then let someone buy her who has.
Who?
I.
You?
I don't wish to be bought by you.
Well, someone once told a slave it happens that you are hardly in a position to have anything to say about it.
You want the girl?
Yes, why not? And I'm willing to pay for what I want. There's your ransom. And now, mademoiselle, if you please.
No. Let go of that girl.
Captain Levasseur, do not. It is honorably settled.
It is not settled to me. He'll not take her while I live.
He'll not take her when you're dead.
Put down your sword.
Two breaches in our articles committed by you. You should be ruined. It's what I intended for you in the end. But since you prefer it this way, you muckrake. Please, I'll be humoring you. Keep a close guard, Levasseur.
Look for your own, mon capitaine.
He's dead.
Clean through the heart, Captain Blood.
That, my friend, ends a partnership which should never have begun. Wolverstone. We're leaving. Take the girl.
What are you going to do with me? Where are you taking me?
I've not decided as yet.
I'll go to Port Royal or nowhere.
Will you now? You'll find you'll do as I say.
What right have you to treat me this way?
Right. The right of possession. Wolferson, you may take my property aboard ship. We pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
This is KNX Los Angeles, the voice of Hollywood.
Olivia de Havilland and Errol Flynn resume the events of our play shortly. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we leave the treasure-hunting pirates of the 17th century for a treasure hunter of today, Mr. Charles Courtney, the world's greatest locksmith. His uncanny ability to find the combination has carried him all over the world, led him to save innumerable lives and risk his own as many times, and recover in all over $50 million in treasures lost on land and sea. The Lux Radio Theater extends its stage from Hollywood to New York, where we welcome the world's greatest safecracker. Mr. Charles Courtney now speaks to you from New York.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Captain Blood took his treasure from ships that sailed on the seas. I find my treasures on ships beneath the sea. The worst fight I ever had, and one that almost cost me my life, was in the North Sea. We were trying to recover the $50 million that sank with Lord Kitchener's ship, the Hampshire. Working at a depth of 350 feet below the sea, we had opened one safe. Then, while working on another, we opened a door. As soon as it opened, I was slammed against the bulkhead. I signaled the men above to hold me up, but the telephone line was broken. I couldn't move, and the pressure got stronger. I knew then that I was trapped by a diver's worst enemy, a cross-current. They tell me it took an hour before they could get me up. No one will ever go down there again, for the English government has consecrated the Hampshire as Lord Kitchener's tomb. I have had exciting experiences on land. Once I had to pick the lock of a burning apartment with a fork and a knife to rescue a woman and 3 children. Picking locks and hunting for treasure have carried me into many countries and many tight spots. But as this is the Lux Show, Mr. Marshall, this will interest you. No matter what part of the world I'm in, I never have to hunt for Lux soap. You can find it everywhere. I know, Mr. Marshall, from my wife and my 18-year-old daughter, that Lux soap is important to the ladies for complexion. But I'd really like to say something from a man's angle. I use it regularly for the bad. Believe me, there have been plenty of times in my life when a good hot tub and a cake of Lux soap felt mighty good to me. My trade has had its amusing side, too. One thing I always like to remember is one of my contacts with the police department. A patrol wagon appeared at the door of my shop one day, filled with prisoners. The officer in charge had lost his key, so he asked me if I would pick the lock of the wagon door so he could let the prisoners out to lock them up again in jail.
Thank you, Mr. Courtney. Back to Hollywood now, where we continue with Captain Blood, starring Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland, with Basil Rathbone, Henry Stevenson, and Donald Crisp. Captain Blood's unchivalrous actions toward Arabella were prompted by necessity, to safeguard her from the men. Now in his cabin on board the boat, he expresses his true feelings. He paces the floor exultantly as Arabella sits watching him.
Arabella, to think that you're really here in the cabin of this ship which I named for you. I dared to hope that someday you'll be here, to gather all these precious things I have for you. See, Arabella, ankle rings from Persia. And look, red jeweled slippers, long golden chains. And this dress, Arabella, this blue dress. When I saw it, I thought of your eyes. And I knew it was made for you to wear.
I'll never wear it. Nor any plunder gotten by a thief and pirate.
Thief and pirate.
Thief and pirate.
Arabella, you...
I've seen your pirate ways. I've seen myself bargained for and fought over. A combat between jackals.
I thought you understood.
You mean you thought you'd bought me? I suppose I should have regarded that as a compliment. You pirates are used to taking what you want without the formality of purchase. I advise you to go back to your ladies at Tortuga, Captain Blood. To your ladies who are thrilled by your bold, lawless ways. I only hate you and despise you.
I might have expected your thanks for what I've done this day, but very well, let it be so. I'm thief and pirate, and I'll show you how a thief and a pirate can deal. Once you bought me for 10 measly pounds. Now I bought you for considerably more. The amounts of no matter. What matters is that now I own you as you once owned me. You're mine, do you understand? Mine to do with as I please.
Captain Blood,
Well?
Lord Willoughby sends his compliments and requests that you talk to him at your earliest convenience. He's sent out by the king himself.
You can return his compliments and tell him to go to the devil. I'm not convenient to any friend of the king.
Aye, sir.
Oh, wait. I'm going on deck. Jeremy, take this lady to her cabin and see that she stays there.
Aye, sir.
How you hate the fellow. If I were a young man, blast me if I wouldn't be jealous. And you said you didn't even know him.
He was once my slave.
Your slave? Then you must have known him well.
I did.
He doesn't seem such a bad fellow for a pirate.
In those days, I thought him an unfortunate gentleman who had suffered a great injustice. When he made his escape, I was thrilled and happy. That was before I knew how he would use his freedom.
Not to argue with you, my dear, but how else could he have used his freedom? An escaped slave, a homeless convict. And aren't you forgetting that a man's bitter heart may demand its revenge?
That's the unforgivable thing, to have held his revenge above all else and so to have destroyed himself, for he has. I've seen pirates. I know what they are. Cruel, evil, greedy, plundering peaceful cities, torturing their captives. Beasts out of hell they are.
Are you so much in love with him?
In love with him?
To care so much what he does?
I don't care in the least what he does.
Someone should for what he's doing now. Still, your uncle commands a fleet at Port Royal. That much is fortunate.
Why? What's this about Port Royal and my uncle?
He amazes me, this Peter Blood. That's where he means to take us.
No, he can't.
I'm afraid he can if he wants to. They won't let me near him. He's alone on his quarterdeck in a fine Irish temper, I expect. But I learned from the pilot...
Lord Willoughby, he mustn't.
Mustn't take you to your home? To your uncle?
He has no more bitter enemy in the world. My uncle is a hard, unforgiving man. He lives in the hope of one day taking and hanging Captain Blood. Captain Blood probably doesn't know that, of course.
I doubt it would make any difference if he did. He's chivalrous to the point of idiocy.
And yet he's been what he has been these last 3 years. And done what he's done. Oh, Lord Willoughby, help me.
I see your point, my child. But it's something you'll have to decide for yourself. Life can be infernally complex.
On deck.
All hands on deck.
What's wrong, Captain?
There's a battle in progress in the harbor.
Ahoy, aloft. How many ships do they go? 2, sir. They are firing on the fortress. The fortress is replying.
It's an attack on Port Royal, then, but who?
Pirate craft, perhaps. I wish I could make out their flags.
Captain Blood.
Aye?
For days I've been trying to see you, Captain. And now, if I may speak to so inaccessible a person, perhaps I can supply you the answer.
You can?
If Port Royal is attacked, they are likely French ships.
French? Why French ships?
When two countries are at war and one is attacked, who would it be but the enemy?
England and France at war?
You mean you didn't know? Where have you been the past 2 months?
At sea. Out of touch with the world.
Ahoy, below! The fire from the fortress is weakening. One ship is already firing on the town.
But where is is the English fleet that's supposed to protect the town?
I can supply the answer to that. It's out chasing pirates.
Bishop wouldn't let his fleet leave its post in time of war. He wouldn't dare.
No? Colonel Bishop is a very old and I may say a very dear friend of mine. It's probably me he's after.
Fool planter.
And me in his own front yard. Hard a port with the helm, Jeremy.
Aye.
Helmsman, hard a port! Aye, sir.
May I ask, Captain, what are your intentions?
I set out to land you at Port Royal, your lordship, at some risk to myself from the English fleet. Now a stroke of luck has removed them from the picture. Well, we best be turning back.
Can you, an Englishman, be thinking of leaving when yonder an English town is being taken?
Well, of what should we be thinking?
Of the honor to fight for your king.
To fight for my king, is it? You hear that, lad? The honor, is it? There's not a word to use in the same breath with him, and furthermore, he's not my king.
Then you fail to show him the same loyalty he shows you.
Loyalty now. Honor and loyalty. Fine words to describe him.
He was loyal enough to send me to seek you out, to offer you pardon for your past crimes, freedom from your slavery, and more than that, a commission in his own navy for you and your men.
What? The king wants us to join his navy?
You can read the document for yourself, Captain Blood.
I wouldn't soil my hands with it.
I'd rot before I'd serve him. However you hate the king, England is still England.
And a bad king's a bad king, and if he's James, he's worse.
James? This commission is sent by King William.
King William? Who may be King William?
I allude to His Majesty King William III, William of Orange, who with Queen Mary has come over from the Netherlands and has been ruling England these past 2 months or more.
You mean they've roused themselves at home and kicked out James?
Yes, and he's fled to France and is hiding there. And therefore, England and France are at war.
And King William sent us this commission?
He did. He knows that you are good men, wrongfully sold into slavery. He can use good men in his navy.
Why didn't you tell me that at once? Men, you've heard the news. For me, this changes the shape of the world. For you who are slaves with me, it means that we're no longer slaves, but once more have a home and a country. For you who are English, it means a chance to fight for your native land. For I now propose to sail into Port Royal and save it from the French. Those of you who are not Englishmen, you'll have to be content with fighting for Captain Blood. And for the loot you'll find on the French ship. Are you willing to fight, men? Then to your posts. Helmsman, hard about. Full sail and straight ahead for Port Royal. Stand fast there. Now the starboard broadside. Fire!
We have him yet, Captain. One of their boats is on the run.
You're not getting much.
Aye, we'll pick them both.
You've England's thanks, Captain Blood, and my admiration. Never have I seen victory so gallantly snatched from defeat.
It was a good fight. But Miss Bishop, where is she? Is she safe?
Safe and sound. You'll find her now at the governor's mansion. That is, if you're looking for her.
Looking for her? Aye, that I am. Good evening.
Peter Blood. I thought you'd gone.
Faith, I've only just arrived.
But you can't stay here. My uncle's just returned.
Yes, I know.
You know. Well, what are you going to do?
Just stay here?
Oh, no. It's impossible. You mustn't stay here. He's sworn he'll hang you.
Well, I doubt if he will. I've always been bad luck for your uncle.
But you can't know the threats he's made. His whole life is spent in searching for you.
Well, now he's found me.
Well, you can still save yourself. Please, for my sake.
For your sake?
I'll hide you.
What do you mean, for your sake? Isn't it true that you hate me?
Hate you?
Or is it that you love me?
I'll hide you, and tonight, when it's dark, I'll find some way.
You love me, don't you? Don't you?
Whom else would I love?
You love me.
Yes. Now will you go?
Arabella.
Please. He'll be here any minute. I'll hide you somewhere and...
We'll hide together. I know just the place.
Where?
Here.
Peter, this is my uncle's office, the office of the governor.
Good.
Well, he'll come here first.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. The governor and I are on the best of terms now. The very best of terms. Sometimes I think I'm the best friend he has in the world. When did you find out you loved me?
Oh, you must be mad.
He's a nice man, the governor, you know. He lets me come and go here as I please. In fact, look, he even lets me sit in his chair. See?
Listen, my uncle, he's coming through the streets now. They're cheering him.
Cheering, is it? That's a strange kind of cheering, I'm thinking.
Take your hands off me, rogues. I have arrested you by order of His Excellency the Governor. The Governor? You're mad. I am the Governor. You mean you were the Governor? But you've changed that in your absence. Bishop, you're removed from office for abandoning your post in time of war. Who the devil are you? My name is Willoughby. I'm a special emissary from His Majesty the King. Lord Willoughby? You were informed, I think, of my coming. Oh, yes, yes. And yet you went off on some wild goose chase after a pirate, leaving your capital at the mercy of the enemy. It's a serious matter, Colonel Bishop, as you may find. But your lordship... I'm not concerned to hear your reasons, man. His Excellency the Governor will hear you. The Governor? You'll find him inside the house. It rests entirely with him, whether you're hanged or not. This is one more item to the account of that scoundrel Blood. By heaven, what a reckoning there'll be when we meet.
Oh, come in, Uncle.
Arabella, what are you doing in this office?
I've been pleading with the governor on your behalf, asking him to be as merciful as you would be cruel.
The Governor? Where is he? I...
Here I am, Colonel Dolan.
Peter Blood, you?
I? The new governor by the king's order.
Well...
And by my order, I command that for your neglect of duty...
No, in heaven's name,
that for your neglect of duty, you're to be punished by accepting as nephew one Peter Blood, one-time pirate.
What?
Arabella, may I put my arm about you?
If you wish.
Oh, Faith, you're as pretty as a Mayday sky.
Wait, I don't understand this.
You don't need to understand. Uncle, you're excused.
And so we ring down our curtain on Captain Blood, but not on Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland, who return to us in a few moments. Douglas MacLean is one of the 4 or 5 major stars of silent days, still most prominently identified with films. He starred in such pictures as The Hottentot, 7 Keys to Baldpate, and 23 and a Half Hours Leave. Then he turned producer, sponsoring So Red the Rose, Accent on Youth, and Mrs. Wiggs of the Cabbage Patch, to name a few. Today he is head of Douglas MacLean Productions, whose pictures are released by Grand National, the most recent of which is Great Guy, starring James Cagney. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Douglas MacLean.
Thank you, Bart.
Isn't it true, Doug, that some 8 years ago you retired from pictures? But here you are, still in the midst of them.
Yes, I tried retirement for a while, but I discovered there's too much celluloid in my system to swear off completely.
And now, with Great Guy under your belt, I understand you're hard at work on a new version of 23 and a Half Hours Leave. But who's going to play the part that you made so famous? Sergeant Gray.
James Ellison, the young actor who did such a splendid job in Mr. DeMille's Plainsman. And Jimmy is giving an excellent performance in 23 and a Half Hours Leave, a part which offers him his greatest opportunity.
Remaking this film must bring back many memories of Hollywood of the old days. Things must have changed tremendously.
Yes, everything has changed, including the weather. Today, Hollywood Boulevard is one of the busiest streets on the West Coast. But I recall a conversation with Charlie Chaplin, who stood on one side of the boulevard, and I on the other, calmly discussing our new pictures.
Interesting, but how could you hear each other with all the traffic noise?
Well, the only noise then was the sound of oranges growing in the groves that lined the boulevard. In those days, Western pictures were at their height, and cowboy actors would spend the morning being photographed on horseback, chasing invisible Indians or shooting them from behind rocks and trees. And then after lunch, these same actors would be dressed and painted as Indians, and they'd be filmed running away from invisible cowboys. When the picture was screened, it was not unusual for the same actor dressed as the cowboy to shoot himself dressed as the Indian. Actors were very versatile in those days.
You've been in pictures for 20 years, Doug. But no one will believe it, judging from your looks.
Pardon me, did you say looks or lux?
Oh, good going. And since we're on the subject of Lux soap, why not a word about what Hollywood studios think about it?
I'll do better than that, Bart. I'll say 2 words. It's tops.
Thank you. And now, from your experience as an actor, director, writer, and producer, what's your opinion of radio in Hollywood?
Radio has probably become the biggest asset to motion pictures in the past year or so. I believe each helps the other, so long as entertainment maintains the standard set by the Lux Radio Theater. In the silent days, actors like polite little boys and girls were seen but not heard. But now you hear them whether you see them or not. Thank you.
Goodbye, Dad. As a consistent Lux listener, I know this is the time when Mr. DeMille calls forth the stars to shine again, and so shall I. Ladies and gentlemen, Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall, for a most enjoyable evening. Nowadays, we're all inclined to look upon a life as adventurous as that of Captain Blood as being entirely to the romantic past. But our friend, Mr. Flynn, can put some of those old-timers to shame.
And what have you to say to that, Errol?
Well, life is still rather primitive over there in New Guinea. I spent 6 years in the islands, first as a patrol officer of the constabulary. If you can picture me as a cop, you'll realize about how primitive the place must have been.
And what happened after that, Constable Flynn?
Well, I grew a beard and became a beachcomber. When I got tired of combing the beach and the beard, I traded a bit in pearls. After that, I got hold of a schooner and went in the copra business.
Errol wouldn't tell you that he's written a book about another voyage he made, but he has. It's called Beam Ends. It's just been published, and a very fine book it is. Errol, you're leaving tonight on a new trip, aren't you?
Yes, flying to New York in an hour, and then I sail for Europe. I hope to get a look at the Spanish War, and on the way home, perhaps spend a few weeks in South America. But that's enough, I think. How about you, Olivia?
Well, after working in 2 pictures with me, Errol, you should know what a singularly uneventful life I lead. But it's a very happy one. And I'm looking forward to making a picture soon with Leslie Howard. And then next summer, if things turn out as I hope they will, I plan to spend 3 whole months touring the country in an automobile and really seeing what the United States look like. And now, before I say goodbye, I'd like to congratulate the sponsors of this program for their marvelous product, Lux Toilet Soap. It's the finest complexion care I know of, and whenever girls ask my advice, I always recommend it. Thank you.
Goodbye, Bart. Many thanks.
To both of you, all the luck in the world.
Thank you, Mr. Haviland, Mr. Flynn, and Mr. Marshall. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your announcer, Melville Ruiz. Before Mr. Marshall tells us of next week's program, may I say that Mr. Flynn, Mr. Haviland, Mr. Rathbone, and Mr. Crisp appeared through courtesy of Warner Brothers. Mr. Marshall, RKO, and Columbia Studios, and will next be seen with Marlena Dietrich in The Angel. Mr. Silvers is from 20th Century Fox, where he was in charge of music for the new film Love is News. And now, Herbert Marshall.
Next Monday night, when you and I tune in the Lux Radio Theater, we'll find Cecil B. DeMille resuming his regular place at the helm, bringing us a star and story warm to our hearts. The story will be Peter B. Kine's Cappy Ricks. In the title role, one of the finest character actors of the stage, screen, and radio. A man beloved by millions throughout the country. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Winninger. And with Mr. Winninger, Richard Allen and Sally Eilers. And now I join the makers of Lux Toilet Soap in inviting you to listen in again next Monday night, when the Lux Radio Theater, here in Hollywood, presents Charles Winninger, Richard Allen, and Sally Eilers in Cappy Ricks, with Cecil B. DeMille back again as producer. This is Herbert Marshall bidding you all good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lux presents Hollywood. Lever Brothers Company, the makers of Lux Flakes, bring you the Lux Radio Theater, starring James Stewart, Stephen McNally, and Julia Adams in Winchester 73. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. William Keighley.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we bring you the story of a rifle, the perfect 1 in 1,000 Winchester, known as the Winchester 73, so named because it was perfected in the year 1873. Now, just the story of a gun could be dreadfully dull. It is, after all, an inanimate object until it is taken up in unlawful hands and becomes a deadly weapon. Today we guard against the uncontrolled use of firearms. But in 1873, when we were intent on winning the West, a man's life often depended upon his ability to shoot. and therefore his gun was his most valuable possession. In tonight's suspenseful story, we have James Stewart and Stephen McNally in their original roles. And co-starring in this outdoor drama from the Universal International Studios is lovely Julia Adams. Now, Winchester 73, starring James Stewart as Lynn McAdam, Stephen McNally as Dutch, and Julia Adams as Lola. This is the story of the Winchester rifle, model 1873, the gun that won the West. To cowman, outlaw, peace officer, or soldier, the Winchester 73 was a most treasured possession. An Indian would sell his soul to own one. On July 4th, 1876, such a rifle came to Dodge City, Kansas. It was placed on exhibition.
Man, oh man, look at it. A Winchester 73.
What I'd give to have that rifle.
1 out of 1,000. First one I've ever seen. But, mister, that's a real gun.
Heard it took over a year to make it.
Yeah. I give the first one to President Grant.
I'll sure be in good company when I win that one.
Well, Lynn, we hit a lot of towns. What makes you think he'll be here?
He'll be here.
We've been wrong before.
He'll be here.
On account of what we just saw in the store window?
If he isn't here already, that rifle will bring him. Come on, let's find a place to board our horses.
The rifle wasn't for sale. They were going to stage a shooting contest, the rifle going to the winner. But I never got to see who won. All I got was an invitation to leave town.
Come on now, Lola.
Let go. Let me alone.
Come on now. Let's not have any fuss. Now, you just get aboard that stagecoach.
I'm not going. You've got no right to treat me like this.
You can come back. It's just till over the holiday.
Why don't you pick on the gunslingers and the gamblers instead of a girl trying to make an honest living? And what about Steve? If he comes to town and finds I'm gone, he's liable never to catch up with me. Oh, please.
Is there something I can do for you, ma'am?
Huh? Oh.
Stranger in town, mister?
That's right, but I was talking to the lady.
Now, don't you fret about it, Lola. If Steve Miller comes along, I'll send him after. All right, Ben. Get that stage out of here.
Well, thanks anyway, mister.
Oh, Lola's all right, mister. It's just that some folks think the dance hall girls might give the place a bad name over the holiday. You and your friend planning to stay for the shooting match?
We might.
The Dodge House is about the best place in town. Might be full up, but I'll put in a word for you with Jake. Well, might as well drop off your guns. Let's have them.
Drop off our guns now. Wait a minute.
You must have a real good reason to ask a man to do a darn fool thing like that.
We don't allow anybody to wear guns in Dodge City. Hadn't you boys noticed?
Who's we?
Oh, didn't I introduce myself? I keep forgetting to wear that piece of tin. I got it on me somewheres here. Hold on, gents. It's in one of these pockets. Sure. Knew I had it somewhere. A man could get himself killed hiding his badge like that.
U.S. Marshal, huh?
That's right. Name of Earp. Wyatt Earp.
Oh, Wyatt. Oh, yeah. Well, give him your gun, High Spade.
Yeah. Some more guns, Virgil. Put them with the others in my office.
There's an awful lot of law for one little cow town.
Well, this is the kind of a cow town that needs a lot of law. Now, if you boys want to sign up for the rifle shoot, just come along with me. Now, all you have to do is... What's the trouble, stranger? You see a ghost?
That's him, Lynn, going into the saloon.
Yeah.
You were right then. Only why would he come here?
I told you the rifle, the Winchester 73. I knew he'd come.
You know Dutch Henry?
Who?
That fellow just went in the saloon. Dutch Henry Brown.
I know him.
What's your name? I'll need it to sign you up.
All right if I use my own?
Some folks do.
Lynn McAdam. My friend here's High Spade Frankie Wilson.
High Spade with a hyphen. That's what I sit on when I get tired.
Dutch Henry, a friend of yours?
I wouldn't exactly call it that, no.
Oh, personal matter, huh? I hope it can wait till you fellas leave town.
Well, it's waited a long time, Mr. Earp. It can wait a little longer.
That's good. That's fine. I'm planning on a nice, quiet 4th of July.
Well, that was the beginning, and an awful lot happened before it all ended. But now that I know the whole story, I guess I'm as good as anyone to tell it. Anyway, that afternoon, the whole town turned out for the shooting match. Wyatt Earp told him a little more about the prize they were shooting for.
So it seems that when the Winchester people are turning out these here rifles, every so often, maybe one gun out of 10,000 comes out just perfect. They've given it a name. They call it 1 of 1,000. President Grant owns one of these rifles. So does Buffalo Bill Cody. And today, one of you boys are going to walk out of here with the finest repeating rifle in the entire world. So take your positions on the firing line. This here shooting match is ready to begin.
Half an hour later, there were just 2 men left in the contest, Lynn McAdam and Dutch Henry Brown. Even Wyatt Earp said he'd never seen shooting as fancy as he saw that afternoon. And when it was over, he handed the rifle to Lynn McAdam.
You can take your rifle now, McAdam, or you can wait till morning. The boys would like to engrave your name here on the gun stock.
Wow, that's real nice of them. I appreciate it.
Wait a minute.
Well, Dutch?
I just thought I'd ask how much you'd take for it.
It's not for sale.
Ah, that's too bad. That's too much gun for a man to have just for shooting rabbits.
Or for shooting men on the back.
Why?
Yeah. Like I said before, a nice, quiet 4th of July. You know, it looks like you and Dutch here might have learned to shoot from the same man.
Yeah, he taught quite a few folks how to shoot. Only trouble was he taught them how. He didn't teach them what to shoot at.
Maybe he figured a man should know that without having to be told.
Yeah, that was his big mistake. He lived just long enough to find that out.
If it's all right with you, Mr. Earp, I'll pick up my gun at your office.
You pulling out of town?
That's right. Me, Wesley, and Wheeler.
Get your gear before you go to the office, and the minute you pick up your guns, you leave town.
Oh, sure, Marshal, sure. Why, that's the law.
I guess I won't have time for that engraving after all.
Well, you're leaving too, huh?
Get the horses high, Spade. I'll get the stuff out of the hotel.
Just a minute. This personal business between you and Dutch Henry, I don't care what you do to each other once you leave town, but there'll be no gunfighting until you do. Is that understood?
It's understood.
Come on, Lynn, let's get started. You all right, Lynn?
Yeah. Find out where he put his horse?
Right next to ours, Wells Fargo Corral. But don't try anything here, not with Earp around. You got to wait, Lynn.
I can wait.
Dutch Henry wanted that Winchester 73 real bad. It wasn't hard getting it either. He and his 2 friends were waiting for Lynn when he walked in his hotel room. 5 minutes later, Dutch was riding hard out of town, and hanging from his saddle was the Winchester 73.
I don't know about you, Dutch, but after 2 days, this saddle is pounding the back of my neck.
And 2 more days before we reach Tascosa. You sure Waco knew what he's talking about?
He better know. And that bank better be full of cash, or Waco's gonna be full of holes. Anything else eating you, boys?
Yeah, our guns. They're still hanging on a wall back in Dodge City.
Well, I got all I want right here.
Oh, look over there. More Indian smoke.
In back of us, too, toward that saddleback. Can you read it?
I don't have to. Indian smoke means just one thing to me. Trouble. Hey, Dutch, you think McAdam has started after us yet?
That's hard to say. He took quite a beating. Quite a beating.
What good's that 73 gonna do you without any shells?
Oh, I'll get shells. Plenty of shells.
In Tascosa?
I thought I said you knew this country.
Yeah, enough of it to know it's full of Indians.
Ever hear of Riker's place?
Riker's?
Yeah, he's got a trading post. Everything we need right now, Riker's got.
Yeah, but how many miles away?
If you'd shut your mouth and open your eyes, you wouldn't ask so many stupid questions.
Wheeler, look. Yondo's cottonwoods.
You feel better now, Wheeler? That's Riker's place. Kind of lonely around here, ain't it, Riker? Just you and Mr. Lamont?
Everybody else got scared out by Injuns, Dutch.
And I don't mind saying I'm doing the same. As soon as I get my business done.
And, what might that be, Mr. Lamont?
It's in plain sight, Mr. Brown. Over there on the counter. Guns, rifles, and ammunition.
You ain't selling to Indians?
I sell to anyone who pays my price. Looks like you and your friends might have been in Dodge City. Left in a hurry.
Could be, yeah.
No guns, eh? I guess Wyatt Earp's still marshal.
That's right. So we'll buy some of yours. 3 6-guns and some 44-40 shells from my Winchester. How much?
$300.
300? Why, a 6-gun costs $25 anywhere in the territory.
My price is $300.
Just a thief, huh? We got $82. What'll it bring?
Nothing. You mind if I look at your Winchester, hmm? 1 of 1,000, huh? Yes, that's a real fine rifle. I don't suppose you want to sell?
I'm buying, not selling.
Maybe so, but not for me.
Your guns are for sale. Who else is going to buy them?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Mr. Brown. I'm waiting for young Bull to send his man here.
What's young Bull doing this far north?
I wouldn't know. But they all want repeating rifles since the Little Bighorn.
Little Bighorn?
The Sioux jumped Custer, wiped them all out. Yes, sir. Getting to be mighty tough country to travel in without a gun.
Well, young Bull might not show up, and you'd be stuck with all those guns.
It could be, Mr. Brown. That's why I'm willing to give you $300 in gold for your Winchester. And you can take your pick of the 6-guns. Might even throw in 50 rounds of shells.
I'm not trading.
You're talking like a fool, Dutch. Give him the Winchester.
I said no deal.
Be smart. How far are we going to get with our guns?
All right. You got a deal, Lamont.
Thank you. Show them the guns, Mr. Riker. They can take the pick.
This way, boys. Right over here.
A Winchester 73. Yes, sir. Like a jewel, you might say. And brand new, eh, Mr. Brown? Why, a man who owns a rifle...
Set it down, Lamont. Then put up your hands.
Well, we made a deal.
Did we? I don't deal with Indian traders. So back up, Mr. Lamont.
Put that gun in your belt, Dutch, or I'll kill you.
Shoot a man in the back, Riker?
I wouldn't be the first. You ought to know.
The gun's in my belt.
You hadn't ought to have tried that, Dutch. You know I run a decent place. Help yourself to the bottle. 1 on the house before you leave.
Who said I was leaving?
You're leaving.
Better give them the rest of the shells, Mr. Riker. They may need them.
Later that night, Lamont left Riker's place. He got word that young Bull was ready to meet with him.
Now, there's no point getting angry, young Bull. I admit the rifles aren't Winchesters, but everyone's a repeater, and they'll all shoot true.
You lie. Rifles you bring are old, worn out. They are not the guns of which we spoke. If you want my gold, bring me the guns with which Crazy Horse and the Sioux made their war at Little Bighorn.
Oh, then you know about Custer, huh?
That is the gun I want. The one on your saddle.
Well, there isn't enough money in your whole tribe to buy that rifle.
That is the gun I want. Hola!
When the Indians rode away, the Winchester 73 had another new owner, young Bull. That same night, 2 more riders were heading toward Riker's place, Lynn McAdam and High Spade.
Oh, why don't you admit it, Lynn? You're about ready to fall out of that saddle. Why don't we rest up for a while?
No, I'm not that tired.
A few hours more or less ain't gonna make any difference. We've been chasing him since I can't remember.
That's right. We've never been this close before. We'll keep going till we hit Riker's place. So Dutch said he was pushing on into Tascosa, huh? He say anything else, Riker?
Well, I didn't hear much. Something about meeting up with Waco Johnny Dean.
Uh-huh. All right, thanks a lot, Riker. You've been real friendly. Come on, High Spade. Let's move along.
Oh, you mean you're going to get up and ride away from all this comfort?
All right, now, how long have we been trailing Dutch? How many months?
I know. We've never been so close before. That's what you said on the way to Dodge City.
Keep your eyes open along the ridge. Plenty Injuns these days.
Thanks, Riker. Well, we'll be seeing you.
Well, the way things worked out, we were all on the same trail. I guess you remember how Wyatt Earp had invited me out of Dodge City by stagecoach. In a way, I was glad he had, because I'd met up with Steve, the fella I was waiting for, at the first stop. Steve hired a buckboard, hitched his horse in back, and we started on our way.
And if I'd have been there, Wyatt Earp or no Wyatt Earp, he wouldn't have run you out of town.
Oh, it don't matter now, as long as you found me. Tell me about the ranch, Steve. It's real pretty, huh?
Yeah, it's the old Jameson place, 40 miles out of Tascosa.
And we can move right in and start living there.
Well, you can.
But what about you?
Well, I gotta meet some friends of mine, Lola. Only take me a day or two. It's a deal.
Oh, please, Steve, please. No more deals. That's why I worked in Dodge City. That's why I got the money.
That's just what I mean. You got the money. Well, now I gotta get some.
Steve!
Indians.
Can we outrun them?
I don't know. Give me that whip. Come on, get it, boy! Get it! Go!
We have fresh horses and a good start, but we wouldn't stand a chance. It was then that I learned a little more about Steve.
Whoa!
Steve, what are you trying to do?
Saddle horse. I'll ride ahead and find help.
What about me? Oh, don't leave me, Steve. Please, please.
I'll get help. I'll come back as soon as I can.
Steve did come back. He did find help. It was the wildest kind of luck. A camp of soldiers, cavalry patrol. But then I found out our luck wasn't so good after all. I heard the sergeant talking to Steve.
I don't understand. Indians know you're camped here?
It was like driving you and the lady into a corral. Yeah, they've had us pinned down here since yesterday. I got a dozen men, is all. They're on all sides of us. Maybe you better tell the lady.
No one went to sleep that night. We just kept close to the fire and waited, not knowing that the Indians were driving 2 more white men into the trap.
You hear what I hear, Lynn?
Yeah, I hear him.
I told you night riding wasn't smart.
Yeah, I guess you did.
Now we're smack in the middle of them.
Yeah, I guess you're right again.
Being right ain't gonna do us much good. What'll we do now?
We keep riding.
The Indians all around us?
Well, maybe you'd feel better if we stopped.
No.
No. Well, we'll just keep on riding.
Look at my hair. It was such pretty hair. I had it ever since I was a kid. A little thin on top, but I'd sure like to keep it.
Yeah. I kind of think maybe... Look over there.
Campfire.
Come on.
Wrong way, Lynn. We're heading right into their camp.
That's no Indian fire. It's too big. Come on, pour it on.
Stop that fool shooting. We're friends.
Don't shoot. We're riding in.
Hold your fire. They're white men. Hold your fire.
Well, thanks for leaving the door open. Say, my name's McAdam. This High Spade here.
Sure can use 2 more men. My name's Wilkes. This is Steve Miller. He and his lady come a-calling on us a little earlier.
You got a woman here?
They jumped us on the ridge, too.
Oh. Well, hello again.
Hello.
You know him, Lola?
He's the fella I told you about. The one who stood up to Wyatt Earp for me.
Well, to tell the truth, I didn't know it was Wyatt Earp.
I hate to bust this up, but we make a wonderful target standing in front of the fire.
Keep your eyes open, boys. They'll be trying to rush us any minute now.
You from Fort Bascom, Sergeant?
That's where we're headed. Replacements.
Oh, you're new on the territory, huh?
Yep. Pennsylvania 9th. Picked up our mounts at Fort Smith. We've been riding ever since.
Pennsylvania 9th. Well, say, you fellows were at Gettysburg, weren't you?
Yeah. Left a rib there. One of them Johnny Rebs hung me up on a bayonet. It's a real group of fighting men. Never knew when they was licked. Gave us a real bad time at Shiloh and Bull Run.
Uh-huh. Say about these Indians, it seems like they hardly ever attack at night.
Why not?
Well, they figure if they're killed in the dark, the Great Spirit can't find their souls to whip them up to heaven or something. I don't know yet. I don't mean to be forward, Sergeant, but if you've never fought them before...
Keep talking. You ain't forward.
Well, it might be a good idea to have your men catch up on some sleep. They're going to be real busy tomorrow morning.
You men turn in. Get some sleep. Coates, Murphy, sentry duty. Call your relief in 4 hours.
A little later, Lynn walked over to me. He brought his saddle and a blanket.
No feather bed, miss, but I think you'll find it a little more comfortable.
Thanks.
Steve Miller just told me you're heading out to a ranch, is that right?
Yeah, my very first own home. I guess you wouldn't know, but it means an awful lot to me.
I know.
You got a home like that?
I did once, sort of.
With your wife?
No, I haven't got a wife. I was with my father.
Is that where you're bound now? To your home?
No, my father was killed. You hear those birds? Kind of pretty, aren't they? Sometimes they sing all night, you know that?
They're not birds. I know what they are. You afraid of tomorrow?
Would it do any good for me to lie to you?
No.
I'm afraid.
I guess everybody gets afraid sometimes.
Yeah, I guess so. Good night, Lola.
Good night, Lynn.
It's starting to get light, McAdam. How soon do you figure?
Any time now, I guess. You know, Sergeant, I was talking to a fellow named Riker. He was telling me how Crazy Horse and the Sioux wiped out Custer. They're real smart fighters. It seems they knew all about your Springfield rifles being single shot.
You mean they had repeaters?
That's right. They sent their first wave in light so they'd draw the fire, and then they sent in a second wave heavy before Custer's men had a time to reload.
You figure this bunch will try the same thing?
I kind of think maybe they will. Only this time, maybe we just might outfox them on account of High Spade and I got Winchesters.
Hold your fire for the second wave.
Well, it's up to you. It's up to you, Sergeant, whatever you say.
Hold it, then.
Yeah. That sounds like they're getting ready.
Yeah. Round out, you men. Get to your places. Take them as they come.
Any place special you want me to stay?
Yeah. Right under the wagon here.
Thanks for the saddle. It was real comfortable.
Oh, wait a minute. Take this 6-shooter, just in case you...
I know how to use it. And the last bullet, I understand about that, too.
They're going to be rushing us in about 3 more hoops. What do you pick for your spot?
Well, they're going to come in under the sun. Let's get up to the other end of the wagon here.
Here they come!
Come on.
All right, boys, let them have it!
Before our stars return with Act Two of Winchester 73, here's Mr. Keeley with late movie news.
Tonight, John, it's a really great film. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's Technicolor production, Quo Vadis. 2 years in the making and a cast of 30,000. Imagine 30,000 actors headed by Robert Taylor, Deborah Carr, and Leo Genn. You know, Quo Vadis is one of the most beautiful love stories ever told. That of Marcus, the Roman warrior, and Lygia, the Christian slave girl, whose faith proves greater than her love.
Which leads up to one of the most unforgettable moments in the picture, the burning of Rome.
Yes, the film, directed by Mervyn LeRoy and produced by Sam Zimbalist, is filled with breathtaking scenes of action and beauty that you just can't afford to miss. Act Two of Winchester 73, starring James Stewart as Lynn McAdam, Stephen McNally as Dutch, and Julia Adams as Lola.
rushed our camp a dozen times that morning, but it was Lynn and High Spade with their Winchester repeaters who finally drove them off. When it was all over, they seemed in a big hurry to leave.
Well, there's not much more I can say to you boys, but thanks and good luck.
Just one other thing, Sergeant. Out here we play winner take all. Indians left an awful lot of dead out there. No sense leaving those rifles out there to rust.
Well, say, I never thought of that. Hey, Coates, go out there and pick up them fast-shooting guns. Anything else you happen to like. Yeah, you're a man after my stamp. Wished we'd had you with us at Bull Run. Might not have run so fast.
Well, I want to tell you something. I was with you at Bull Run. So was High Spade. Only we were on the other side.
You mean you were...
That's right.
I'll be done. I'll be done.
So long, Sarge. See you again.
Oh, Lynn, wait, before you go.
Oh, hello.
Oh, this six-shooter, it belongs to you.
Yeah, thanks.
The last bullet is still there.
Yeah, so it is.
May I have it? You just never know when a girl might need a bullet.
Sure, help yourself.
Still bound for Tascosa, huh?
That's right.
Oh, whatever you're after, I hope you get. You too, High Spade.
Thanks. Good luck, boys.
Good luck, fellas.
All right, let's get moving.
Hey, Sarge! Sarge! Look at this. Look what I found out there.
Man, is that a rifle? Who had it, Coates?
Their chief, I guess. I saw that Lynn fella drop him. Real pretty shot.
Let me see that rifle. I say, it is brand new.
And look what it says on it.
Dodge City Rifle Shoot won by... Don't say who won it.
Do I get to keep it, Sarge?
No, some officer'd take it away from you at Fort Baskin. And it's too good for an officer. Hey, Lynn! Lynn!
It's too late, Sarge. He's gone.
Well, there's someone else to be proud to have this. Steve?
What's that you got?
One of you fellas ought to have it.
Why, that's a 73. A Winchester 73.
It's yours. You earned it, too.
Once again, Steve and I were on our way to the ranch. The Winchester 73 lying between his feet on the floor of the buckboard. We got there late that afternoon.
Over there's a house, honey. You like it?
Yeah, it sure looks nice, Steve.
Yeah, that garden you were talking about, we could plant it right over there. Or maybe you wouldn't want a garden.
I don't know.
The place will look even better after the rains. It gets all green around here, and there's water in the runs.
Steve, when did you say the Jamesons would be moving out?
Almost any time now, a week maybe. Just right to help give you the feel of the place. Come on, honey, let's go in and meet.
I should have been happy, but I wasn't. All I could think of was Steve and how he'd left me the day before while he rode off for help. In a few days, this was a man I'd be marrying.
Is something wrong, miss? Oh, I wouldn't be surprised after what you've been through.
Oh, I'm all right, Mrs. Jameson, and thanks for supper. It tasted real good.
I thought my husband would be back from town by now. Well, I better get the kids off to bed, if you'll excuse me.
Yeah, sure. Lola, as soon as she comes back, I guess I'll be going to town.
Now, tonight?
I told you I got to meet somebody.
Waco Johnny Dean. I heard all about him, Steve. He's no good.
Lola, what's wrong?
I don't know.
It's on account of what I did back there. You think I ran away?
I'm not sure.
I won't lie to you. I went yellow, crazy yellow. But I came back for you. You know I came back for you.
Steve.
Look, I'd give my eyes if it hadn't happened. Someday I'll prove that to you, Lola. You gotta believe me.
Steve!
They're coming this way. Listen.
Waco! Where? Hello, Steve. Come on, get in, close the door, Roan. Hey, Latigo, look who's here.
How you doing, Steve?
Fire out the window, boys. Keep them off. All right.
Hello. You live here?
She's with me, Waco. Name's Lola Manners. I told you about her.
Yeah, that's right. Only you didn't tell me how pretty she was.
Steve, what's this all about?
Ha! Old home week in Texas, huh? We ride into town real peaceful like, and who's waiting for us but the U.S. Marshal and a flock of deputies. Haven't had so much enjoyment all year.
You got no right to come in here.
You got any coffee, lady?
Get out. Get out of this house.
Waco, can you hear me?
That is Noonan, Waco. See what he wants. Keep talking, Noonan.
There's a woman and 2 children in there. Send them out the front door. We'll hold our fire.
Then what? Shut up, Radigo. I'll do the talking.
Then you can come out. You'll get a fair trial, Waco.
Come in and get us, Noonan. Now, where's that coffee?
Why don't you let the woman out of here? And those kids. What do you want to do? Stand behind them when Noonan comes in after you? I want to remember it so I can tell my friends about Waco Johnny Dean, another brave man.
This is quite a girl, Steve. Quite a girl. They're coming out, Noonan. Lady, take your kids and go out the front door.
Oh, thank you, miss. Thank you.
Go on, Lola, go with them.
No, she's staying put. You wanted to see this, honey. You wanted to tell your friends.
Waco, take it easy. She didn't mean...
Wait a minute. That rifle, Steve. Where'd you get that rifle?
It was given to me.
Yeah. How much, Steve? Name a price. Make it big.
I'm not selling.
This is me you're talking to, Waco.
I said I'm not selling.
All right, Steve. Have it your own way. Tell your gal to bring in the coffee.
Lola, no, you stay where you are. Waco, you're crazy. We can't stay here.
I better do what he says, Steve. The coffee.
No, let him get it. You don't mind, do you, Steve?
No, I don't mind.
Send out that other woman, Waco. Send her out right now.
She don't want to leave. She likes it here. Sit down, honey. We got lots of time. You known him long, Steve?
Long enough.
And you're a lot of woman.
Hey, Waco, they are bunching up around the bar now there.
Let them. Hey, where's that coffee?
I'm getting it.
Well, bring it and put on an apron. You'll look better.
What are you trying to prove?
Nothing. Just trying to buy a rifle. You still sure you don't want to sell, kitchen boy?
Steve, let him have it. Don't you see what he's trying to do? He's
the
just...
coffee. Come on, let's have it.
Steve, look out.
Well, I guess you must have tripped, huh, Steve? Clean it up.
No.
I said clean it up.
I said no.
Wait! Waco! Just poor old Steve. He wouldn't clean up the mess.
Steve!
I tried, Lola. I tried.
Waco, they're going to burn us out. We got a wagon full of hay. They're going to run it into the house.
Then I guess it's about time to go, boys.
And walk right into their guns?
Maybe you'd rather fry. Go on, start running. I'll cover you.
I suppose I fainted. I don't remember. All I know is I found myself in the buckboard again. Waco was next to me.
Hang on, honey. Hang on. We'll be in Tascosa in the morning.
You dirty murdering.
I sure was mean to poor old Steve. His rifle, gal, and his buckboard. Yes, sir, it's been quite an evening.
Please let me go, please.
Out here in the middle of nothing? Why, honey, you might get hurt out here. Besides, I'm beholden to you. With you in my arms, Noonan's boys didn't dare shoot. And you'll like Tascosa, Lola. You'll like Tascosa fine.
Tascosa. Then I remembered that someone else was riding for Tascosa. Lynn McAdam. Maybe we'd meet again. Sooner than either of us ever thought.
Hey, Lynn, what time you figure we'll hit Tascosa?
Well, not till 2, 3 tomorrow. We got a couple of tired horses there.
You ever wonder about your pa? I mean, what he'd think about you hunting down Dutch Henry?
He'd understand. He taught me to hunt.
Not men. Hunting a man to kill him, you're beginning to like it.
That's just where you're wrong. I don't like it. There's some things a man has to do, so he does them.
What happens when the hunt's over? Then what?
When it's over? Well, I hadn't given it much thought. Well, maybe we could get the ranch back together again, round up the strays, and then we could... I don't know. Hadn't given it much thought.
Well, now might be a pretty good time on account of we're coming pretty close to where things are going to end.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. But You've been real fine people, High Spade, riding along with me.
That's what a friend's for, isn't it? Leastways, that's the way your pa always said it.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? He said if a man had one friend, he was rich. I'm rich.
What about that girl? That fella Steve's girl. She mean anything to you?
Well, how could she mean anything? She's going to marry him, isn't she?
Yeah. Just wondering, that's all. Just making conversation.
By daylight, we were in the desert. Tascosa was somewhere still ahead of us. But Waco had other plans. He took a trail leading up into the mountains. Far off, I could see a cabin.
It's him, Dutch. He's coming. Waco Johnny.
Look at him. He's got a woman with him.
Maybe that's what kept him. As if I didn't know.
Sometimes I think Waco's a little on the crazy side.
Yeah, so do I. But I think quiet. Go on down there and bring him up.
Hi, Dutch. Hi, boys.
Hi.
Oh, pardon me. This is Lola. She's crazy about me.
Just a minute, Waco. That rifle.
I thought I'd take Lola along into Tascosa.
I don't care where you take her, but where did you get my rifle?
Your rifle? Why, this is a Winchester 73, Dutch. A gift from a very dear friend.
It's my rifle, and I want it.
And if you don't get it?
Do you want in on this Tascosa deal?
I've come a long ways to get here, Dutch.
Then I'll say it again. That's my rifle.
Well, as long as you feel that way about it. Here, take it. Now, where's Tom and Dundee? Didn't they show?
They're inside, sleeping. Rode in late last night. Where's Latigo and the others?
Oh, seems they got themselves all shot up.
Oh? How come?
It's a long story, with tears. Come on, let's get in the cabin. I'll tell you over a drink.
So you take the girl and come up here, huh?
Any objections?
No objections. You, haven't I seen you somewhere?
I've been somewhere.
In Dodge City, a dance hall. Playing a piano and singing.
Singing and playing the piano? You?
Roll one out, and I'll sing you a tune.
I'll take you up on that as soon as we get to Tascosa. Which happens when, Dutch?
This afternoon. And here's the setup. First, John, Turk, and I ride down to Trujillo. When we get there, You. Take a walk, sister.
Oh, let her alone, Dutch. She's luck.
I said take a walk.
He don't like you.
Well, don't tell him now, but I don't like him.
Get smart, and I'll teach you some manners. Look, Waco, this time tomorrow you and her can play patty cake all you want. But when I'm lining up a deal, I don't want any dance hall woman listening in.
The man wants you to walk, honey. Well, nice cabin you got here, Dutch. How'd you like to rent it out for honeymoon?
For the last time. You in on this deal or not?
Oh, sorry. Keep
All right.
talking.
We pick up the stage at Trujillo. There's 2 men riding shotgun, guarding the gold. They ride it right into Tascosa, to the bank.
Where'll I be?
With Dundee and Tom. Now, right across from the bank, there's a saloon. Tom will leave the horses in front. You be at the bar, and you'll see the stage when it pulls in.
I'll be at the piano. Lola's going to sing for me, ain't you, honey?
I know. Take a walk.
What else do you know?
Nothing.
So I'm in the saloon. What then?
They carry the gold into the bank. I follow them.
And if there's trouble, I cover you from the saloon.
That's all there is to it. You better get started now. It'll take you about... You! What are you looking at?
Just a picture on the shelf. This one's you, huh?
What's that in your hand?
It's a bullet.
Ah, you help yourself to that, too?
It was given to me by your friend in the picture.
You know him?
I know him.
Oh, and we've got something in common. He's been trying to give me one of those for a long time. Come on, Wheeler, let's have a look at the horses.
Poor old Dutch. Business. All the time business.
You're a strange person.
Am I?
That rifle he's carrying.
That's no rifle, honey. That's a Winchester 73. There's nothing like it in the world.
First you kill a man to get it. Then you just give it away.
Don't you worry. I'll get it back from old Dutch the same way I got it from old Steve. Now, come on, get yourself ready. We're going into Tascosa.
I didn't have much choice. I went with Waco into Tascosa, to a saloon across from a bank. He said he wanted to hear me sing. The place was empty except for the bartender.
Blue sky up above me.
Hey, that's all right. On the level, weren't you?
Get away from me. We're in town now, Waco. This is where we say goodbye.
Why? What for? Oh, that business with Steve? He wasn't for you. I did you a favor.
Maybe someday I can do the same for you.
Did you love him?
I guess I did. You know, you two had a lot in common.
Yeah, a lot of woman.
I wasn't trying to be funny.
When you talk like that, you are. Or didn't you know he was yelling?
I knew.
You killed me. You want a drink?
No.
You mind if I go over and get one?
I don't mind.
You, barkeep. That clock right? 5 after 3?
A little fast, I think. Stage is due at 3, and it's always on time.
Whiskey. Yes, sir.
I sat there watching him, wondering when I could make my break. But there were 2 of his men on the porch, and there'd be more as soon as the stage... But then the door swung open, and walking in were Lynn McAdam and Highspay.
Wow, hello again.
Well, hello, nice people.
Sooner than you figured, huh? Seeing us again?
What are you doing here?
Me? Oh, just entertaining.
Where's Steve? Drinking whiskey in the back room?
Steve's dead.
He's dead?
Awful sudden, wasn't it?
Very. He was killed by that gentleman standing at the bar, the one who's looking at us.
Don't seem right for people to go around killing
He's
nice
not
folks.
people. He's Waco Johnny Dean.
Lynn, didn't Riker tell us that Dutch was riding to meet...
To meet Waco Johnny Dean, yeah.
You haven't got a chance. Don't quarrel with him.
I got no quarrel with him.
Watch him, Lynn. Watch him.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
I've been riding to meet up with a man named Dutch Henry Brown. I was hoping to run into him here in Tascosa. Wouldn't happen to know him, would you?
I might. How long do you know him?
I know him long enough to tell you where he got that little scar above his right eye. I gave it to him when he was 10.
Now you want to give him another?
Where is he?
Hey, Waco, the stage is coming.
Be right out. Suppose I don't tell you. Then what?
Where is he? Where is he?
Hang on to him, Lynn. I'll get his...
Where is he?
I'll take you to him.
When? Now. All right, start walking. Come on.
No, those men out there, they're with him.
Undine, top!
It all happened just as the stage pulled up outside. But the driver heard the shots and kept going. I saw Dutch Henry jump out. Lynn saw him, too. He started after him. There were more shots, only I didn't duck fast enough.
Lola, where are you hit?
My arm.
Oh, you little fool.
I got Waco, but Dutch got away.
He won't get far. Take care of her, Highspade.
No, don't let him go.
I couldn't stop him if I wanted to.
You don't understand. Dutch Henry's a murderer.
I
He's
know. So does Lynn. It was Dutch Henry who killed his father. So it's right for him to go. Doubly right, because Dutch Henry is Lynn's brother.
His brother?
Now, come on. Let's see if we can find a doctor.
Dutch Henry had ridden off toward the hills. In the scabbard of his saddle was the Winchester 73. Somewhere in those hills, a score would be settled, once and for all.
Come on up, Lynn. Come on up and get me. You're caught below another man's gun. The old man taught you better than that. I guess I forgot, Matthew.
You don't mind my calling you Matthew, I hope. I like it better than Dutch Henry Brown.
Come on out and show yourself.
Matthew McAdam. Has a good sound to it. I guess that's why the old man gave it to you.
Ah, you got yourself in trouble again. I can smoke you out of those rocks easy. First chance I had to thank you for winning me my rifle. Shoots real pretty, wouldn't you say?
I never got a chance to use that gun, Matthew. But I intend to. Now, there's something you forgot, too. The old man told you never to waste lead. Now you're short.
Not that short.
Load up fast, Matthew. I'm coming up.
Well, that's the way it was, Lola. The old man sired 2 sons. One was no good. Never was any good. Robbed a bank. Stagecoach. Then when he came home and wanted to hide out, the old man wouldn't go for it. So Dutch shot him in the back.
He'll be waiting for Lynn. He'll kill Lynn, too.
Maybe. Maybe not. Well, Doc, this lady going to be all right?
She'll have to wear that armless sling for a while, and she'll be fine. Now, miss, if you don't mind, see who that is, will you? Tell him I'm busy.
Sorry, Doc's busy. Anything I can...
Well, who is it? Who's out there?
It's a man with a rifle, Doc. A Winchester 73.
What the devil are you...
Lynn.
I'm sorry I ran out on you before. Something that started a long time ago had to be finished.
Well,
it's finished.
Nothing to do now, then, but go back home, huh?
That's right. Say, Doc, is this girl fit for traveling?
You crazy? This girl's just been...
I mean, not even as far as a Parsons?
Oh. Well, that's something else again.
Doesn't anybody ask me anything?
Hmm? Oh, yeah. Well, Lola? Lola?
Oh, yes, Lynn, I will. I will. That's the most wonderful proposal I ever had.
I thought it was pretty good myself.
Before our stars return for their curtain calls, listen to this sensational offer by the makers of Lux. A novel assortment of 12 glittering metal foil Christmas tree ornaments, so striking they're worth 3 times the price. You get shimmering icicles, snowflakes, and snowballs that dance with 1,000 lights, and a profusion of brilliant colors. Emerald green, tangerine orange, rich gold, sparkling silver, magenta red, and sapphire blue, all with gleaming silver on the back. You'll love the way they sparkle, like stars in a winter sky. And all they cost for a full dozen is just 50 cents and 1 Lux box top. Send to Lux, Box 16, New York 46, New York. These ornaments are exclusive with Lux, but if you bought them in the store, they'd cost at least $1.50, 3 times the price. They come to you packed flat, but open easily to beautiful, shimmering 12-sided ornaments. These shiny, twinkling ornaments are unbreakable and have reinforced metal holes for easy hanging with a hook or string. You can fold them for storing and use them year after year. These ornaments are going like hotcakes, so don't be disappointed. Send for yours right away. We can't accept any orders after November 30th. Please allow 3 weeks for delivery. You'll surely get them in time for Christmas. Order as many as you like. For each set of 12, send 1 Lux Flakes box top and 50 cents to Lux, Box 16, New York 46, New York. This offer is good only in the United States, Alaska, and Hawaii. I'll repeat that address. It's Lux, Box 16, New York 46, New York. Now, here's Mr. Keeley with our stars.
And here they are coming forward for a well-earned curtain call. James Stewart, Stephen McNally, and Julia Adams. Welcome to the Lux Radio Theater, Julia.
Thank you, Mr. Keeley. I'm delighted to be here.
You know, Bill, Julia was starred in her first picture, and here she is starring in her first appearance on the Lux Theater.
Yeah, well, Julia believes in starting at the top and working her way up.
Well, I'll have to go some to catch up with you, Jimmy. You've appeared on this stage 10 times already.
Now, why don't you take a tip from Steve? Tonight he's making his second appearance of the season.
Yeah, at this rate, he'll pass me by next April.
Oh, no, I haven't got room in my house for all that soap. Anyhow, Julia's doing okay. Isn't she co-starring with you in your latest Universal International Technicolor picture?
That's right, The Bend of the River. It's the story of people who braved the Northwest frontier back when it was called the Oregon Territory. I play the part of a pioneer guide.
And Julia plays your sweetheart?
Yes, Mr. Keeley. But I don't see how any girl got her man in those days. After bouncing around in a covered wagon, I was anything but a glamour girl, and I ate dust by the ton.
Well, don't forget that women were scarce in those days, Julia. At least on wagon trains.
Oh. Well, I'm certainly glad Lux Flakes weren't scarce on our wagon train. I always insist on Lux Flakes for my personal wardrobe.
Good for you, Julia. You know, we have a supply for all of you to take home. Now, let's see, with Jimmy's 4 children and Stephen's 6, excuse me while I order another truckload.
Just a minute, Bill. We want to hear about next week's show.
Well, next week, we're going to have one of the greatest and most successful pictures of all time. It's Cecil B. DeMille's production for Paramount Pictures, Samson and Delilah. And as our stars of this melodramatic story about one of the most notorious women in all history will be the original stars in this momentous motion picture, Hedy Lamarr and Victor Mature.
Well, that'll be a great show, Bill. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, and hurry back. Lever Brothers Company, the makers of Lux Flakes, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday evening when the Lux Radio Theater presents Hedy Lamarr and Victor Mature in Samson and Delilah. This is William Keeley saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Faith in divine power was stamped on our first money and is still a foundation stone of our way of life. In God we trust. Remember, attendance at church or synagogue builds moral and spiritual character, both for the individual and for the community. Why not attend regularly? Stephen McNally appeared through the courtesy of 20th Century Fox, whose latest release is Golden Girl, starring Mitzi Gaynor, Dale Robertson, and Dennis Day. Julia Adams appeared through the courtesy of Universal International Pictures, now releasing The Lady Pays Off, co-starring Linda Darnell and Stephen McNally. Heard in our cast tonight were Dan Riss as High Spade, Herbert Butterfield as Wyatt Earp, Wally Mayer as Waco, Tim Graham as Wilkes, Stephen Dunn as Steve, Bill Johnstone as Lamont, and Bill Conrad, Bob Griffin, Charlie Lung, Jack Mather, Joe Duvall, James Best, June Whitley, Brad Brown, and Eddie Marr. The motion picture Winchester 73 was based on a story by Stuart N. Lake. Our play was adapted by S.H. Barnett, and our music was directed by Rudy Schrager. This is your announcer, John Milton Kennedy, reminding you to join us again next Monday night to hear Samson and Delilah, starring Hedy Lamarr and Victor Mature. This is the CBS Radio Network.
Welcome to Hollywood. The Armed Forces Radio and Television Service brings you the Hollywood Radio Theater, starring James Mason and Pamela Collino in Five Fingers. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Irving Cummings.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we bring you another of our 20 greats, Five Fingers, a thrilling drama of a clever spy who sold his services to the highest bidder. And recreating his original role of the infamous traitor in this 20th Century Fox picture will be James Mason. And as his co-star, his charming wife, Pamela Colino. Now, Act One of Five Fingers, starring James Mason as the Yellow and Pamela Colino as Countess Stavisky.
This account begins in 1944. The war was at its height. But some nations still were neutral. Among them, Turkey. One evening late in March, an attaché of the German embassy at Ankara, a man named Moisic, was about to enter his quarters when a stranger appeared from out of the shadows.
Whatever you do, don't raise your voice.
Who are you? What do you want?
Take me to your office.
Either you tell me who you are...
Don't be a fool. I've brought you the opportunity of a lifetime. I can make you the envy of the entire German Foreign Service. Now, open the door.
The stranger was in his middle 30s, well-dressed, and as Moisic soon found out, exceedingly sure of himself.
Let me warn you, Moisic. Not one word of this must reach anyone except your ambassador. My life will depend on your discretion.
A responsibility I do not choose to accept.
I'm afraid you have no choice. Your life will depend upon it, too. You see, certain British documents classed as most secret have come into my possession. The price is £20,000. English pounds sterling.
20,000? Who are you?
I am a spy, obviously. I'm also a businessman.
And you consider it sound business to pay £20,000 to an unidentified amateur for a set of so-called secret documents?
Not so-called, not secret. I said most secret. You will inform Herr von Papen of my offer. Naturally, he'll have to check with Berlin. I'll telephone you on Friday for his answer.
I must have more information.
If you accept, I'll return at 7 o'clock on Friday evening with 2 rolls of film containing photographs of the document. And I will receive from you the sum of £20,000 in English banknotes. For each subsequent roll of film, the price will be £15,000. Is this clear?
It's not clear at all. What documents? Containing what?
For one thing, the English have been discussing with the Turks their possible participation in the war.
A matter of pure supposition.
I have the minutes of their secret talks. Your ambassador, Herr von Papen, would be enlightened by them and perhaps a little frightened.
What else?
The latest Allied plans for the shuttle bombing of certain Balkan targets. When and by whom and how many?
Go on.
Don't be greedy, Moisic. What do you expect for £20,000?
How did you obtain such information?
That is no concern of yours, nor is my identity, and please do not have me followed. You Germans have no talent for it. You keep wanting to get ahead of the people you follow. Yes, destiny extends its hand to you. Take it and hold on. Good night, Moisic.
The men left. Moisic did not have him followed. But had he done so, he'd have discovered that his visitor was in the employ of the British embassy, the ambassador's valet. And like any proper valet, he was at his post when the ambassador returned shortly before midnight from a reception.
A pleasant reception, sir?
Diplomatic receptions are never pleasant, Diallo. The faces may be, but never the motives.
Your coat, sir. Allow me.
Speaking of pleasant faces, Diallo, at one time, weren't you in the service of the Countess Stavisky?
I was valet to her late husband, sir, at the court of St. James.
She was at the reception.
Is she well, sir?
As charming and lovely as ever, but not so well off. The Nazis in Poland have confiscated everything she owns.
I'm sorry to hear it, sir. She was a lady of great wealth.
And she used it well. More than anyone I've ever known, Countess Stavisky symbolized the world in which she lived. A world of beauty and luxury. Gone forever, I'm afraid.
Let us hope not, sir. I put the survey of Turkish manganese beside your bed together with your journal.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That will be all, Diallo.
One moment, sir. Your capsule.
Diallo, have you ever considered the possibility that you might, just for once, forget something?
Often, sir.
I don't think you'd ever get over it.
Nor do I. Good night, Your Excellency.
3 days later, the German ambassador, Franz von Papen, sent for his aide, Moisic. He had just received a dispatch from Berlin.
Well, it's here, Moisic. Read it. Transaction approved. Take every precaution. Essential you determine identity of agent. Expect immediate report.
It was sent by Kaltenbrunner.
Well, here's the money. 20,000 pounds, eh? There's no need to count it, Moisish. I have not taken any of it. Sir, but I had no such intention. Believe me, I was just... Are you sure you can handle this alone? Oh, yes, sir. And I can develop the film myself. Good. The fewer people who know about this, the better. Particularly if this fellow makes fools of us. What was your impression, Moisish? Arrogant, spoiled, cynical. A British aristocrat if I ever saw one, sir. Fantastic. Oh, by the way, a code name has been assigned to him. He used to be referred to as Cicero. The name is the personal choice of Herr Ribbentrop. Has it any significance, sir? None that I know of, except the surprising fact that Herr Ribbentrop had ever even heard of Cicero. Oh, he'll be here tonight. He said 7 o'clock, sir. Keep your wits sharp. A great deal depends on you. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Moisish. Yes, Excellent. The money. Here. You forgot it. Excellent.
Promptly at 7 o'clock, Diallo arrived at Moisich's office. On the desk lay the pile of banknotes.
Ah, you have the money, I see. Thank you, Moisich.
The film?
Here, 2 rolls. Oh, fetch me a drink while I count it, will you? Scotch whiskey, please. I'm sure you must have some.
We have the best of everything.
One of the pleasures of duty in a neutral country. You Germans can drink fine Scotch whiskey, and your enemies can fill up on fine German beer.
Well, you can count the money later. It goes into the safe now until I've developed the film.
Are you going to develop the film yourself?
Yeah, there's a dark room down the hall.
Then perhaps you'd better drink this. You're trembling like a butterfly.
You'll remain here until I come back.
I'll lock the door. I won't open it to anyone but you. Now, hurry.
Moisich was stunned by the contents of the film, as well he might have been. Back in his office, he did his best to hide his excitement.
Interesting snapshots, aren't they?
The documents seem to be genuine.
Don't be pompous, Moisich.
My government has authorized me to make further arrangements with you.
Splendid. £15,000 for each additional roll of film. Oh, and about my present fee, I've counted the money. It was all there.
Well, that money is in the safe.
It was.
You opened the safe. It's open.
You see, I said to myself, if I were an ambitious attaché like Moisich, what would be the combination of my safe?
Oh, dear you.
And the answer was 13033, the day Hitler came to power. I imagined that would open half the safes in Germany. What an unimaginative lot you are. Well, don't be upset, Moisich. There was nothing else worth taking.
My government is prepared to pay £10,000 per roll, no more.
We won't haggle. I risk my life to get these photographs. My price is quite reasonable. You'll pay it.
Not until we know who you are and how you obtain such information.
That is my business. I will tell you this. I work at the British Embassy. Sooner or later, you'll find that out anyway.
You've been assigned a code name, Cicero.
Cicero. A man of nobility, eloquence, and dissatisfaction. I like that name.
When will you bring more film?
A week from tonight. Have some money ready. Oh, and change the number of the combination. May I suggest one? Try 6-18-15. That's the date of the Battle of Waterloo. Good night, Herr Moisich.
Diallo left. Then he took a walk, which led him to a rather shabby section of town and to a rooming house, the quarters of Countess Anna Stavisky.
Oh, it's you, Diallo. Well, come in.
Do I disturb you, madam?
Not at all. Fortunately, I have a dinner engagement, but he's an undersecretary, and he's used to waiting.
Any particular undersecretary, madam?
Undersecretaries are never particular, Diallo. Perhaps that's why they take me to dinner.
It is far more likely that in madam's presence they feel like ambassadors.
Of all the diplomats I've ever known, you're still the best.
It is my good fortune that you've known so few valets.
Diallo, please. I've spoken to you before about this. You're the valet to the British ambassador, not to me. Now sit down and tell me the gossip.
I'll begin with the British ambassador, madam. He finds you the most radiant, the most sought-after lady in Ankara. To him, you're a symbol of everything worth having and wanting.
A symbol of the good old days. That's me. You see this, Diallo? An emerald. The last of the lot. I want you to take this to the pawn shop tomorrow. I couldn't face another trip.
Would it not be pleasant to make just one more trip, madam? This time to redeem your jewels?
Redeem?
With English pounds. Here.
Where did you get that money?
It's yours, £5,000.
But it can't be real.
There's nothing as real as money.
But I may never be able to pay this back.
I don't want it back.
I can't permit you. Why, it must be the savings of a lifetime.
Not savings, madam. I'm not a saving man. A business venture of mine has paid off handsomely.
But what has it to do with me?
I propose to advance you £5,000 in return for certain favors. I have here another £15,000. I couldn't possibly keep such sums at the embassy, nor do I want to draw attention to myself by depositing it in a bank. But you, madam, could keep it for me.
Go on, Diallo.
You could leave this grubby room, rent an attractive villa, live as you please.
But how would all that be a favor to you?
From time to time, I shall want to transact my business in privacy. You would set aside certain quarters for me.
I see.
If all goes well, I shall have some £200,000 within 12 weeks. That's the amount I've set as my goal.
And then?
South America. A new life, a new name. That, of course, will require a passport, visas, letters of credit. You could be of great help in obtaining them for me.
How?
I'll explain that when the time comes.
Is there anything else?
Nothing. Except all I've told you must remain extremely confidential.
Seems little enough to ask for £5,000. Are you going to tell me what your business is?
Sometime, perhaps. Not now.
This is quite a trust you put in me. You seem very sure of yourself.
I'm sure of you, madam.
Oh?
For 3 years, I was valet to your late husband. It is said that no man is a hero to his valet. It is also true that no woman is a mystery to her husband's valet.
You know me that well?
Well enough. The source of your money has never concerned you any more than the source of your electric light. They became worrisome only when they were shut off.
Quite true, but there is pride. I have pride.
A great deal I depend upon your pride. You'll find it intolerable to have it known that your wealth was the gift of a servant. So, you will keep your mouth shut tight.
Get me a brandy. There, on the table.
Of course.
No, Diallo. Not 2 glasses. I shall drink only out of one, thank you. Do you know why I discharged you after my husband died?
I think I do, madam.
Because you made me uneasy. I felt you had an evil genius for something. Little did I know it was for making money.
That's a lie. That wasn't why I made you uneasy.
No?
No. You were attracted to me. It was upsetting to feel that way about a valet and to feel that the valet knew it all the time. Have I offended you?
You'll soon be very rich.
Everything worth having and wanting. The ambassador didn't say that about you. I did. That's how I've always thought about you.
And now you want me to go with you to South America?
Yes.
Away from the war, the intrigues, the fears.
And the poverty.
And it would be right for us now. Because now at last we are equal.
Yes.
Equals. Who's lying now, Diallo? Where are you going?
Madam has a dinner engagement, and we seem suddenly to have run out of gossip.
You made me a business proposition. I agree to that part of it. As for the rest, it's not an impossibility. It's merely an improbability. And above all, an impertinence.
Because I address you as an equal?
No. Because you address me as a servant. Because in the manner of an inferior, you tried to buy something you didn't think you merited on your own. Now, let's get down to the details of business.
As Madam wishes.
My name is Anna.
Yes, Anna. Thank you.
It was inevitable, of course, that the British embassy would discover that many of their carefully guarded secrets were now known to the Nazis. When this disturbing news reached London, a counter-espionage agent named Travers was sent to the ambassador at Ankara.
We've made all sorts of preliminary checks, Mr. Travers. So far, we've failed. I haven't the slightest idea how the German embassy is getting this information.
And if I were to assume that the source is someone here at the embassy, sir?
Not all our personnel and permanent employees have had security clearance from London.
Now, forgive me, but I've never known a self-respecting spy without security clearance. And where do you store your state papers, sir?
Right here in my study, and that's safe.
What about the code room?
McFadden can answer that.
The code room is under constant guard, night and day.
Sir Frederick,
Don't you think that this lamentable lapse in security could be due to a slip of the lip at some party or reception?
My lips are not in the habit of slipping, Mr. Travers.
Well, nor do I imply that they are, sir, but our secret information does pass through other hands. It might pass through other lips. Now, McFadden's been telling me about an unattached lady, a certain Countess Stavisky. It is possible, is it not, that...
I beg your pardon, Your Excellency.
What is it, Yellow?
It's time for your capsule, sir.
Oh, thank you, Yellow. Just set it down.
Yes, sir.
You were saying, Travers?
Are you our valet?
Yes. He's been with me for years.
Well, about the Countess. According to McFadden, her circumstances have taken a startling change for the better. And does anyone know the source of her sudden good fortune?
I'm not able to answer that. However, she has many friends on either side, Allied and Axis.
Oh, by the way, you'll be interested to know I'm not the only newcomer to Ankara. Colonel von Richter was also on the train from Istanbul.
Von Richter? The Gestapo?
Traveling under a Swiss passport. He calls himself Rudolf Hodler, a tobacco buyer from Bern.
He went directly to the German embassy, sir.
No doubt he's reporting to von Papen as I'm reporting to you.
If we only knew what they're saying.
Yes, Sir Frederick. If we only knew.
Von Papen's reception of von Richter was anything but cordial. Von Papen had good reason to be aroused.
So you come here seeking confirmation of the documents we bought from Cicero. You had your confirmation on the 5th of April. We sent you the British plans to bomb the Ploeshti oil fields. Well, were they bombed or weren't they? Thousands of dead. Millions of gallons of precious oil destroyed. Well, what is the need for further confirmation, Herr von Richter?
Regarding Cicero, it remains the opinion of General Kaltenbrunner and myself that all this still could be a British trap. Now, then you seem very certain about a connection between the Countess Stavisky and Cicero. May I ask why?
Because it is obvious. Why else would he choose her new home for his next meeting with Moisich?
What a strange and sudden and perfect relationship. Too strange, too sudden, too perfect. The unknown Cicero and the well-known Countess, well known for her anti-German sentiments.
Yet only a month ago she pleaded with me for an opportunity to work in our interests.
For love, Herr von Papen, or for money?
For money, of course. Alone until the time when we return her property we've confiscated in Poland.
I want to talk to Cicero myself. Moisich, when do you meet with him next?
Thursday evening, Herr Colonel.
Then you will arrange for Monsieur Hodler, the Swiss businessman, to be present.
On Thursday night, the Countess Stavisky was again entertaining. Among her guests was the tobacco buyer from Switzerland. During the evening, she led him through the house to a secluded wing, where someone was waiting for him.
You will find your man in that room, Monsieur Hodler. I shall see that you are not disturbed.
Thank you, madame.
Are you too a diplomat, monsieur, like Herr Moisich?
I suppose you could call me a middleman.
There are so many sweet middlemen. It seems to be a national occupation.
And what could be more natural? After all, we Swiss have been in the middle for hundreds of years.
Just knock on the door, monsieur.
Colonel von Richter, sit down, please. Moisich tells me that you're to be the new intermediary.
That is correct. Moisich is too well known here. It'll be safer for me to deal with you.
I'm happy to hear it. I share your concern.
The Countess, have you told her who I am?
Of course not.
Does she know the nature of your business?
No.
Then just what is her relation?
My dear Colonel, I did not invite you here to discuss my personal affairs. We have some business to transact. Did you bring the money?
You will be paid after we have developed the film.
During the past weeks, I have sold Moisich 50 photographs, all of genuine secret documents. That's proof enough of my good faith. Henceforth, you will pay on delivery. No? Well, possibly you're no longer interested in the strategic plans of the Allies for the entire Mediterranean area.
A second front?
I do not know the number of the front. I do know that in these documents, Mr. Churchill keeps referring to the soft underbelly of Europe. Of course, I could take the films to von Papen and ask that he himself query the German High Command as to their interests.
Very well. Here. 15,000 pounds.
Why, you had it with you all the time.
Who are you, anyway?
If I told you I was the valet to the British ambassador, would you believe me?
Certainly not.
You see.
At least tell me why you are selling us this information.
I thought it was self-evident. For money.
Oh, but you must have some other motive. Perhaps you share our disgust with British decadence.
If I have a disgust for everything, it is simply for poverty.
You sell us information which will help us win the war. Yet you insist upon being paid in money with a very dubious future. British pounds.
What makes you think I think Germany will win the war?
Apart from the money we pay you, you attach little importance to these documents. Why?
In the first place, I cannot sell you the intelligence to make the proper use of them. In the second place, by informing a man about to be hanged of the exact size, location, and strength of the rope, you do not remove either the hangman or the certainty of his being hanged. And now I'm sure you will want to rejoin your party. 1 week from tonight, I shall have some more film for you. Good night, Colonel.
I trust your meeting was a happy one, Monsieur Hodler?
Quite satisfactory, thank you.
And you will honor us soon again?
The honor will be mine. Good night, madame.
Ah, how charmingly you Swiss click your heels. Good night, monsieur.
We'll continue with Act Two of Five Fingers in a moment. Now, our producer, Mr. Cummings.
Act Two of Five Fingers, starring James Mason as Diello and Pamela Colino as Countess Stavisky.
2 weeks went by. The man known to the British as Diallo the valet and to the Nazis as Cicero the spy continued his audacious operations. How did he get his information? Months before, he had learned the combination of the safe in the ambassador's study. Removing the documents, he would place them under a lamp. But the ordinary electric light bulb was not bright enough. So he would substitute a much more powerful one, and then with a tiny pocket camera, quickly photograph each new document. In a matter of moments, the papers would be back in the safe and the original bulb restored to the lamp. Simple and incredibly bold, and bound sooner or later to be discovered. But not yet. No, not yet.
Come in, Diallo. Another profitable evening?
Profitable enough to bring the total to £75,000.
Why don't you stop now? Why go on playing with fire?
What makes you think I am?
Oh, don't treat me like an idiot child. Your friend Hodler, he isn't Swiss. I know a Prussian when I see one.
Does it matter to you?
Your safety matters to me. My security depends upon yours.
Oh, forgive me. I keep thinking of myself as a man. I keep forgetting that I'm a valet who pays dividends.
I can't see why a man as rich as you should go on pressing the trousers of the British ambassador.
That's where I get my money. I steal the loose change from his pockets.
Before you go, get me a drink, will you? Tell me, where do you plan to settle when you go to South America?
Rio. There's no city like it in the world.
When did you decide to go there?
Many years ago. I was a cabin boy on a dirty tramp steamer. I can remember looking up at a villa high on a mountainside above the harbor. I could see a man on a balcony. He was wearing a white dinner jacket. He seemed close enough to touch, and yet he was beyond the reach of anyone. I swore then that someday I would be that man.
My drink, please. Do you have a nationality, Diallo? You are not a native Englishman, are you?
Albanian, English by adoption. In England, it seemed profitable to become a gentleman, so I went into service. As you have pointed out, I am not yet a gentleman, but I am the best of the gentleman's gentlemen. Which reminds me, the ambassador will be wondering what has kept me.
Diallo?
Yes, Anna?
I think I shall find Rio very much to my liking. You have waited a long time to kiss me. You don't have to wait any longer.
Anna?
Yes, Diallo.
Get me a drink.
During the following weeks, Diallo's fortune grew to £155,000. And yet, despite the unerring accuracy of the information which he sold to the Germans, They stubbornly and amazingly refused to act upon it, still afraid that Diallo was really a British agent. At the British Embassy, Travers, the counter-espionage officer, continued on the merry-go-round which had led him exactly nowhere. But one morning he asked the ambassador to send for Diallo.
We feel you can help us, Diallo. After all, you were valet to the husband of Countess de Visky for some time.
I'm sure you learn more about both of them than we could in a lifetime of investigation.
Infinitely more, Mr. Travers.
Tell me, did you ever hear the Countess express sympathy for the Nazis?
To my knowledge, the Countess never spoke of countries or of political parties, sir. The world to her was made up of individual people whom she either liked or disliked.
Well, would you consider her to have been pro-German?
The Countess was capable of being pro-anything, sir, if it made for a congenial dinner party.
Then would you consider it possible for her to have become a German agent?
Only for money, sir.
Of which she has suddenly acquired a most generous supply.
I know nothing about spies, of course, but I can remember that the Countess had a remarkable talent for receiving confidences from important people. The late Count always relied upon her for acquiring information.
Thank you, Diallo. That's all.
Oh, I'll be dining at the American Embassy. You may take the evening off.
Thank you, sir.
Clever chap.
He told us nothing. The fact remains that von Papen still anticipates every move I make. Well, Travers, no argument?
No, Your Excellency. No argument.
That same evening, Colonel von Richter was once again at Countess de Visky's home, meeting with Diallo.
You're very nervous tonight, Colonel. Is something troubling you?
This house is far too dangerous a meeting place for us. I wouldn't be surprised if the British were watching it.
Not yet, but they will. They suspect the Countess is a German agent.
Are you serious?
And all the while you suspected she was a British agent. Amusing, isn't it?
We should never have met here.
From now on, we won't. Do you know the Aslan Hane Mosque in the Old Quarter? Moisich will find it for you. We'll meet there a week from tonight.
A week is too long. It must be sooner.
Really? Why?
Because there is something about which we must secure information as quickly as possible. A certain code word has appeared in several of the documents you brought us last week. The word is Overlord. We are convinced that Overlord is the name for their so-called second front. What we must know is the place and date, the where and the when.
I can understand your curiosity.
I will pay you well for it, 40,000 pounds.
Generous of you. But is information of that nature likely to turn up at the British Embassy in Ankara?
Don't you read the documents you sell us?
I photograph everything that's stamped secret, most secret, and top secret. I'm not particularly interested in what they contain.
You photographed the dispatch last week stating that the ambassador would receive a copy of the revised strategic plan for Overlord within 10 days.
40,000 pounds, you said.
For the where and the when.
We'll meet at the Aslan Hane Mosque on Thursday night. Bring the money with you.
In the morning, Mr. Travers, for the first time, had some good news for the ambassador. The British had succeeded in breaking the diplomatic code of the Nazi ambassador, von Papen.
And now, for a change, sir, you can eavesdrop on von Papen. All right, McFadden, read the message.
This is from von Papen, sir, to the Reich Foreign Minister in Berlin. In reply to your query concerning the authenticity of documents obtained from Cicero, I am firmly convinced the material is genuine. Cicero lives within the British Embassy. Obviously, he has access to top-secret information.
Lives here?
Kaltenbrunner's failure to evaluate the documents and von Richter's refusal to make them available to me is a tragic blunder. I strongly urge you to bring this matter to the personal attention of the Fuhrer. Without delay, signed, von Papen.
Cicero.
The code name for their informer, sir. Now, with your permission, I'll order a house search at once.
But an open search will put him right on his guard.
Well, that can't be helped. If we can't catch him, we've got to frighten him. Enough to make him stop for a while.
As you know, I'm expected in Cairo tomorrow evening. Until I return, take any security measure you think necessary.
Well, for one thing, I suggest the combination on your safe be changed and safety devices installed. A dozen members of the staff here have access to most of your secret documents. And there's also McFadden, and you, and I.
Cicero could be any one of us.
Yes, sir, any one of us. Well, McFadden, better start changing that combination.
How long will it take?
Oh, a few days, sir. But I can install an alarm bell in a matter of hours.
I'm sorry to disturb you, sir. About your trip to Cairo, shall I pack your uniforms?
I won't be needing them, thank you, Diallo.
Very well, sir. I've closed your bags.
By the way, Diallo, don't be upset if these gentlemen ransack my quarters while I'm gone.
Oh, there'll be no need for that, I'm sure, sir.
On Thursday night, Moisich and von Richter appeared as scheduled at the entrance of the Aslan Hane Mosque. But the man they were looking for was not there.
It's never been late before, sir. Never. Could it be possible, sir, that the British have found him out?
It is more possible that the British have known about him all the time. It is very curious how easily Cicero acquired the documents he wanted to sell. And when only once we named the information we want to buy, how mysteriously he failed to deliver it.
What does the colonel propose to do now, sir?
Precisely nothing. All spies in time outlive their usefulness. I'm afraid, Moisich, that your friend Cicero has just about outlived his. Now, drive me back to the embassy.
No, Diallo did not appear that night at the mosque. He went instead to call on the Countess Stavisky.
So you can be very proud of me, Diallo. You have everything you asked for. Your passport, your visas, and your tickets. Your name is now Roberto Antonini.
Well done, Senora Antonini.
It was nothing. One of my many pleasant wifely duties.
How much do they cost?
5,000 pounds. Another 1,000 for birth and marriage certificates.
And the tickets?
2 first-class compartments, separate cars on the Istanbul Express leaving tomorrow evening.
And the ship?
An Argentine passenger freighter sailing from Istanbul directly to Rio, day after tomorrow at sundown.
Now, remember, you're to take no notice of me whatsoever on the train. When we reach Istanbul, we'll go aboard the ship at once. How did it go at the bank?
The bank manager seemed extremely curious. But the papers will be ready tomorrow morning.
How much?
Another 1,000. And all my powers of persuasion this side of respectability.
That leaves roughly 130,000 pounds. In dollars, about 600,000. In Brazilian cruzeros, about 11.5 million.
Plus the 40,000 you got tonight.
No, I withdrew from that transaction. The market's getting shaky. I've decided to retire. You have before you an Argentine gentleman of leisure, about to take up residence in Brazil.
I'm glad. We have more than enough anyway.
We? We have more than enough? My dear Senora Antonini, where I came from, a man's money is his own. And if his wife is a good wife, he gives her some from time to time.
Whatever you say, Roberto.
Will you miss being a countess?
Not for a moment, darling. Not for a moment.
In the morning, Mr. Travers, for the first time, had reason to specifically question the ambassador's valet.
Diallo, may I ask what you're doing with those letters?
These, sir? Mr. Morrison gave them to me. The ambassador's personal mail, sir.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps you better take charge of it, sir, until he returns from Cairo.
Yes, I think we'd better put it in the safe. How many letters are there?
5, sir.
Oh, this one seems quite personal. A lady's handwriting. You were looking at it, weren't you?
It's perfumed, sir. It struck me as such a pity that so few ladies use perfumed letter paper these days.
By the way, Diallo, weren't you away from the embassy last night between 9 and 10?
Yes, sir.
Would you mind accounting for your movements?
Not at all, sir. I walked for a while on the boulevard, stopped for a drink at the Yüksel Palace, then back to the embassy.
Well, one other question about the Countess. Do you remember any particularly close friends she may have had in Switzerland? Did she go there often?
Oh, very often, sir. She was extremely fond of Switzerland.
Ah, then that explains it. Countess Stavisky left by plane for Switzerland this morning.
I hope she can enjoy it in the style to which she is accustomed.
No, that shouldn't be any problem. She took with her 130,000 pounds. I wonder where she got it.
Yes. I wonder, sir.
In a moment, Act 3 of Five Fingers. We pause now for station identification.
curtain risers on Act 3 of Five Fingers, starring James Mason as Diallo and Pamela Colino as Countess Stavisky.
To Diallo, the news was unthinkable. Anna Stavisky had stolen his money and gone to Switzerland. He hurried away from the embassy, went to a cafe, and telephoned Moisich.
Listen carefully, Moisich. Tell Colonel von Richter I have decided to get the information about Overlord. I need the money. But I'm being watched. I'll arrange a meeting place in Istanbul. I'll call you there tomorrow at the German consulate.
After the phone call, Diallo came directly back here to the embassy.
Did he speak to anyone at the bar?
No, no one. I think you're on the wrong track, sniffing after Diallo. After all, he didn't bat an eye when you told him about the Countess.
But why go to a cafe to make a telephone call? And why did he... Well, maybe you're right. Where is he now?
Upstairs. If he should leave again, he'll be followed, of course.
Yes, Diallo was upstairs, staring at the ambassador's safe and the newly installed wiring that led up to the hall to an electric alarm bell. In the safe was a secret worth 40,000 pounds. But one turn of the dial and the entire British embassy would descend upon him. But then he smiled. How simple it would be. Diallo walked down the hall to a broom closet. In it was a fuse box. He removed the fuse that served the ambassador's study and thus broke the current to the alarm bell. 2 minutes later, he was taking photographs of half a dozen papers containing the word Overlord. And then there was no time to return the documents to the safe. No time for anything but to find out who was at the door.
What do you want?
I am the porter, sir. I clean office now.
No, not now. His Excellency won't be back until tomorrow.
But it is necessary.
Not now, I
come...
said. Come back later.
But the porter was not one to quickly surrender. If he could not tidy up the study, at least he could vacuum the carpets in the corridor. But when he turned on the vacuum cleaner, there was no electricity. So he went to the broom closet, observed that a fuse was missing, and promptly replaced it.
Stay where you are, Diallo.
That man, where did he go? Did you see him?
What man? Who?
The man. He'll get away.
Where's Diallo, McFadden?
He just ran out, backstairs. He's chasing someone.
Johnson.
Yes, sir.
You and Kimball follow him. Find him and stick with him.
Right out.
Morrison, get a dispatch off to London. I want all available information on Diallo sent here at once. All right, McFadden, let's take a look at the safe. Well, the papers are all here. Now, what about the letters? That batch of mail that came for the ambassador.
There were 5 letters. 1 letter's missing. The one with the delicate perfume.
1 letter gone, but none of the papers. I wonder why he'd... What's that light in the bedroom?
Huh? The lamp's on.
An unusually bright lamp, isn't it? Come here.
Photographic bulb. Why, he photographed...
All right. Have Burroughs and Murray watch the German embassy. We've got to keep him from delivering that film.
Grab him in public? Our Turkish friends might not like it.
If we can't kidnap him, McFadden, we'll have to kill him. There's a little matter called Overlord we've got to consider. I'll send a man out to the airport. After Johnson gets back, you and I will get out to the railroad station. If he doesn't show up at their embassy, you can be sure he's leaving town.
At the German embassy, Colonel von Richter was also making plans, based on Diallo's phone call from the cafe to Moisich.
He said he would arrange a meeting in Istanbul. Very well. See what you and Stuyven take the train, Moisich, and I will go by plane. Cicero is bound to be on one or the other.
Shall we go armed, Colonel?
Naturally. You are to protect Cicero from the British at all costs until we get that film.
And after that, sir?
And after that, Moisich, it will be up to Cicero to protect himself from the British and from us.
At the crowded railroad station, 4 men kept their tense watch for Diallo. 2 British, 2 Nazis. But there was no sign of Diallo. Not until the train started to move from the platform. And then from his hiding place, Diallo dashed through the crowd and onto the train.
I've gone through the last 3 cars. No sign of him.
He's in the car just ahead. Second compartment. The door's closed.
Well?
Well, there's nothing to do between here and Istanbul but make sure that none of them get off.
Them?
Down there. The old familiar faces.
The same two we saw in the station. But what if he's given them the film?
Well, they wouldn't be playing watchdog for him if he did. So, put your gun away, McFadden, and light up your pipe. It's a long ride to Istanbul.
In his compartment, Diallo was reading a letter with the delicate scent, addressed to the British ambassador.
And so, by the time you receive this letter, I shall be far from Ankara, far from uncertainty and hunger and humiliation. I shall be settled, I hope, in a new life of security and self-respect. You have spoken to me so often, my dear ambassador of Diallo, the perfect valet. Surely I can offer no greater proof of my devotion to the Allied cause than to inform you that your trusted Diallo is a German spy. I know both you and your government.
Early the following morning, Diallo left his compartment and entered another.
Good morning, gentlemen. Did you sleep well? I slept extremely well. Guards to the right of me, guards to the left of me. You are my bodyguards, aren't you? Or are you my assassins?
We are here to see that no harm comes to you from the British. We will stay at your side till you reach the German consulate.
Don't be whimsical. I'm here only to give you a message from Moisich. Tell him to meet me at Harkin's restaurant at 6 o'clock this evening.
We would prefer the consulate.
No, thank you. So many more people go into German consulates than come out of them.
We must have some guarantee that your film is genuine.
Here is a little strip of film. Have Moisich develop it, and you will see a piece of the document that Colonel von Richter wants to buy. I'll deliver the rest of it when Moisich pays me 100,000 pounds.
100,000?
I forgot to tell you, I've just raised my price.
At 6 o'clock in Istanbul, in a restaurant called Hakim's, Moisich kept his appointment with Diallo. Some moments later, they were followed there by Travers and McFadden.
Good evening, gentlemen. You wish a table?
I'm looking for a friend. He'll be in a private room. There is a private room over there.
It is occupied.
Good. Then he's here.
I am sorry. He does not wish to be disturbed.
No, but he's expecting us.
I am sorry. If you care to wait, please to be seated here.
Well, he's here, McFadden, and Moisich is in there with him.
You know, there's a time for using your wits and a time for blasting away. Let's get it over with.
Well, we've no monopoly on blasting away in this place.
Oh? Our Nazi friends again?
Those dim-witted supermen would drop us before we got clear of the table.
But he may be handing over the film this minute.
As of this minute, we don't want the film. Plans can be changed, you know. We want Diallo. We've got to know just how much the Nazis have found out. I'm going to send him a note. Just a word or two to let him know we're protected.
Ah, you're balmy.
Now he'll jump at it. Oh, you. If you don't mind.
Yes, sir?
My friend may not know we're waiting for him. Would you give him this note, please?
That note you just got. Who is it from? What does it say?
You're troubled, Moisich. Because you know that I haven't much longer to live?
The two Gestapo men are here to protect you from the British.
What two men? Really, Moisich, you and your guilty conscience and your big mouth. Well, the money is all in order, and here is the film.
Good.
Has it occurred to you that our roles are now reversed? That the British may try to kill you? Well, Moisich, shall we go?
Here he comes. He's heading towards us, Travers. Your note worked.
Mr. Travers, I'm touched by your solicitude. Imagine me, of all men, with a British sword and a British shield.
Personally, I'd rather slit your throat.
Impractical. In that case, I'd be unable to tell you the things you want to know. You've no idea how confused the Nazis are to see you protecting me. They still half suspect I've been a British plant all along.
We have a car outside. We'll see you safely to the British consulate.
No, thank you. We'll walk away together and then say goodbye.
We'll get the Turkish police to arrest you.
Is that a gun in your pocket, Mr. McFadden? It's against the law here to carry a weapon, didn't you know?
Come along.
Of course. You disapprove of me, don't you, Mr. Travers?
You're the most cold-blooded traitor I've seen in a lifetime of looking at human trash.
What a pity. I rather hoped I looked like a gentleman.
They left the restaurant. Behind them came the two Gestapo men, Siebert and Stuyven. But Diallo had known exactly what he was doing when he picked Hakim's as the meeting place, for the narrow street was jammed with people and traffic. They walked not more than 50 feet when he suddenly darted away and was lost in the crowd. Meanwhile, Moisich had rushed to the German consulate with a roll of film that had cost £100,000.
The film is developed, Herr Colonel. I have exactly the information you wanted.
Oh, have you? It took you long enough?
I was so nervous I spoiled the first print. But here it is, sir. D-Day for Operation Overlord is tentatively set for early June along the coast of Normandy and the Cherbourg Peninsula. Colonel, did you hear me?
Now you hear this. An urgent dispatch from von Papen.
Von Papen?
Have just received personal letter from Countess Anna Stavisky naming Cicero as British agent. Am unable to confirm accusation because Countess is now in Switzerland. But in view of past efforts to ingratiate herself with us, am compelled to believe her charge is true.
I cannot believe it.
I have always believed it from the first.
But the documents were genuine. Events proves them genuine.
Of course, they had to be. So that we would swallow that big lie, that one in your hand. I knew it. All along, I knew it. Lies, lies, lies.
Yes, Diallo had won. And as Roberto Antonini, he sailed away to Rio. He bought a magnificent home high on a hill overlooking the harbor. And he wore a beautiful white dinner jacket every night. But one evening, as his valet was serving dinner out on the balcony, two gentlemen came to call on him.
This is an unexpected pleasure, Senor da Costa.
And may I present my friend, Senor Santos?
I am honored, Senor. Are you two associated with the bank?
No, senor. With the Brazilian Department of Investigation.
And you have discovered some irregularity in my papers?
Your papers are all perfectly in order.
There is an irregularity. However, your account at the bank, senor.
I am overdrawn? As of yesterday, I had approximately 7 million cruzeiros in my account.
I was referring to the 25,000 pounds in cash with which you purchased this villa. The money has been returned.
What on earth for?
It is counterfeit.
You have a distorted sense of humor, senor.
And so is the money which you exchanged for Brazilian currency. It is all counterfeit. The most skillful I have ever seen.
Senor Antonini, I implore you to cooperate. Those counterfeit notes were printed in Germany. The British have just established that beyond a doubt.
And so far, they have turned up in 3 places. Here, in Brazil, in Turkey, and in Switzerland.
Switzerland?
Over 100,000 counterfeit British pounds confiscated there 2 days ago.
In the possession of a political refugee, a lady, countess.
Now, it will be to your interest, senor, to tell us where and how you got this money.
Switzerland.
Now, believe me, senor, this is no laughing matter. It is my unhappy duty to inform you you are under arrest.
Anna!
I beg your pardon.
Anna, poor little Anna.
In a moment, our stars will return. Make a friend, and you make an ally. There's a thought for you to keep in mind, as many another American has. G.J. Watamool, a naturalized United States citizen, has done much to bring the fruits of democracy to his native country, India. As one of Hawaii's most successful merchants, Watamool, with his American wife, established the Watamool Foundation over 15 years ago to bring Indian students to America. The first year, they offered 14 fellowships, paid for the students' passage to the United States and their tuition at a university of the candidate's choice, and gave them $150 a month for 2 years' living expenses. Since the foundation was begun, industries all over America have offered their services to the Watamools in helping Indians learn modern techniques in pediatrics, the control of epidemics, food canning, and the building of machinery. Through the years, the Watamools have expanded their program to sponsor and exchange goodwill ambassadors between the United States and India. We should be especially proud of G.J. Watamool, who, as an American citizen, has proven to peoples of two nations that by helping others, you help your country. Now, here's Mr. Cummings with our stars.
And here they are, James Mason and Pamela Colino.
Now, Irving, what about next week?
It's just out of this world, Pamela. In fact, that's where we're going for the story, because it's Paramount Pictures' shocking story of the War of the Worlds. And as our star of this science fiction thriller, we'll have Dana Andrews and Pat Crowley.
That should be quite exciting, Irving. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. I'll be seeing you Thursday night.
Part of our cast tonight were William Conrad as the narrator, Hans Conried as Moisich, Bert Butterfield as Sir Frederick, John Dodsworth as Travers, Edgar Barrier as von Papen, Parley Bear as von Richter, Leo Brett as McFadden, and Vic Perrin, Lou Krugman, Lawrence Dobkin, and Eddie Marr. Hollywood Radio Theater is produced by Irving Cummings. Our orchestra is directed by Rudy Schrager. This is your announcer, Ken Carpenter, inviting you to be with us again next week at this same time for the Hollywood Radio Theater, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.